while since we last played. I
Yes.
don't even remember exactly when that was.
Tight.
How about we start off with a recap? We were gonna do like a cooperative thing. Doesn't have to be on one person. Just someone needs to start.
I think it was we were in hell. We had gone off to Kira's wedding that we were kind of invited, but not really. We showed up. Hades was not happy that we were there. After we encountered some dragon-esque people, I think they're like, yeah, that begrudgingly accepted us going there and then decided we could be helpful. But before we even considered helping them, actually, we looked for Kira, and one dimension door through a random wall, guarded by a Cerberus later. That was actually a really nice guy. It was a great chat with him.
Yeah.
We found Kira in like in a room that she'd been trapped in, effectively, with whatever she wanted to have. Although it was Dragon Kira. Then we promptly escaped. It was a pretty good escape as well, if I do say so myself. It was a dimension door out. Hastily try and use the Hell Gate box, the Ruby Gate. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
And then it failed, so we jumped off a bridge, as one does, and then it worked. All of us, although, because Kira's like, what happened to Kira? How would she got like, banished? Something along those
Yeah,
lines.
we don't know. We had to cut it short because, and then out of game, Chief told us that like the universe is fucky, so banishment it isn't clear where she would have been sent. But
Yeah.
I don't think our characters know that.
So yeah, we poofed back here, but then no Kira, and we're like, what the fuck? Where'd Kira go?
Yeah, he's sending to be like, hey, can you come to Mitras? If not, tell us where you are, and we'll come to you.
I think we left it basically there.
Yeah.
There was like
That
some weird
sounds about right.
runes or something on the floor where we arrived. I remember that.
Yeah, there were some ruins that we were like, oh, that's cool. Maybe we should look at that. But it was like the sands had shifted. Was it an excavation or not an excavation?
It was an excavation. Yeah, you arrived back in the plains, the savannah. Basically the middle of the night. Like the stars out, the moon is out, and it reveals that the spot that Darius at this point has visited a few times, the exit of the Ruby Gate, is in fact not just some random spot in the middle of the savannah, but was in fact most likely always the focal point of some sort of construction. The construction itself looks finely made, although eroded and very old, showing obvious signs of, well, giant language, Geigen language, which I don't believe any of you speak. Correct me if I'm wrong. However, it does look like it was excavated fairly recently. It wasn't very deep, but there was like a few centimeters of just accumulated dirt, likely just, from wind and such.
And nothing I have tells me giant.
Could use comprehend languages, but it is. I don't have it prepared, so I would have to do it as a ritual.
Although we're not meant to be here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as you can tell, there's nobody watching you, or nobody has seen you arrive. But whether that's really the case is a whole different matter.
There's no way that after everything that's been going on that they haven't
No.
had like a constant watch on this place. Like
And-
somebody clearly excavated this too.
And 10 minutes would, like, to cast
Yeah.
a ritual would just be too much, I think.
Take like an etching of it, like that pencil trick, and then do it later.
it's far too large to really slow
do
it
that.
down.
I have comprehend languages ready to go.
Oh,
Next
nice.
spell slot.
Yeah. I'm a sorcerer. I don't have to prepare shit. I just have very limited.
Yeah, that's what I was asking if you've got
slots.
spell slots. Right.
Yeah. I haven't fired anything.
Oh, that's good. I don't remember what we.
Well,
Cool.
a high level one, but not.
Take
Yeah,
it
I'll
away.
do comprehend languages.
Oh, I mean, let's
All right.
do it real quick. Oh.
The meaning of the runes becomes clear to Ariat. However, the meaning is not straightforward. It's not a tutorial on how to use the place or a description of what it's about. The context is missing a bit. You could give me either an investigation or a religion check. Both
great.
things are different results.
Me help in any way? Just like talking shop.
Now, without being able to really read the runes,
Yeah, that's fair.
there's not much you can do.
Well, I have no dice and no bonuses for that, so it's gonna be a straight D20 roll. Whoop, 17. Hey.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
Starting
Even
strong.
if Ariat might not be proficient in this sort of thing, it's you can read them, and they seem to be like a bit of a flowery story almost. Like it's definitely written in a way that's not meant to be easily understood, but it's also not like
Some sort of
code.
fable, like, oh, back in the day when the moose talked with the fox, or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, not quite that complicated. It
Okay.
does seem to describe the general purpose of the place. Ariat can't make up the details, but there are phrases that seem to hint that this was, well, basically perhaps unsurprising, connected to the Ruby Gate, the large ruby. It mentions that some deal between the Titan Sidon and Hades was struck at some point, and this place is one of the meeting places that was prepared for their communication.
Oh,
That's so rude.
yeah. I mean, she'll share that. Which I guess makes sense because that's where we got the Ruby Gate, but
Yeah.
also like, oh, great. I can't. They probably had nice plans that were good for everybody, right? That's what happened. Like, great, yeah.
Well, it does
I
explain why it would be here, as
suppose
these
we
were
should
Silence followers.
leave, though.
Yes. Does Kira respond to the sending at all? Or sorry, Archirania respond to the sending?
Like a roll. No.
Oh, good.
Excellent. You can teleport us away, right?
Yeah. Mitros or
Yeah. let's go
Dragonlord
home.
headquarters?
Wherever the dragons are waiting.
There's back in the Dragonlord
Yeah.
camp.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Also, that's definitely safer to avoid crashing into things. So
Yeah, that's true.
I'd like to picture the area above the new Dragonlord
Yeah.
fortress. So I have a little wiggle room for being off, and we also have Featherfall and whatever. So that's not an issue. And then,
Alright,
yeah, cast teleport.
want to teleport there. Alright. See, the dragons are over there, so all the tokens are where they need to be. They're apparently at the dining table.
They've been feasting while we were away.
Very politely.
Although, as you return in the early morning hours, they would probably not be sitting at the dining table. But there is activity going on. The headquarters is in fact not quiet. Quite the opposite, as there is a selection of visitors. Not unknown faces by any means. Well, I say that that's not entirely true.
Silent area.
One day, it's gonna happen one day.
One day they're just gonna show up. They don't have any powers, but they're back somehow.
No, man, they've got the stolen power back. If
Where-
when Lutheria, at least Lutheria comes back, she could be stronger than ever.
Got a bone to
I-
pick with you.
Kill the ones.
They're gonna sit there. We're gonna come in late night, go to the
Mhm.
kitchen to get a snack, and they're gonna stand there with the fridge door open.
That's right.
You're like,
Aravandar's research is the most important thing we're doing.
I imagine at this point, like the hall now has like several stacks of books in the corner. Like each
I
corner.
was gonna say, slowly
Religious
the
totems.
floor space gets
Yeah.
tinier and tinier, and just the fucking stacks of books just slowly consume the room.
And it's gonna start taking acrobatics to get over like
Yeah.
all of the books to get through the hall.
It's
Yeah.
a good flying test for the
Yeah.
Dragonlords. Yeah.
Let me describe what you arrived to, because there's certainly activity, and I absolutely lied when I said you recognize these people.
Oh,
All right.
Because I don't know what I was thinking. What you arrive to is a man standing in front of the open entrance to the headquarters. Xerxia sort of sitting in the door, as if blocking it, sort of looking at the man, nodding as he talks. You can't really make out what he's saying as you appear like some meters away, but he seems insistent that he wants something that Xerxia is not ready to give him. He has definitely the colors that Artemisia would immediately recognize, perhaps even the sort of stance of some sort of associate of Aresia. The colors he is wearing are definitely Aresian, and his getup suggests that he's some sort of messenger, perhaps, the more important kind, the one that negotiates, a diplomat of some sort, who appears to want something. Xerxia, however, while keeping the door open, seems to be having great fun to also block it at the same time. Sort of just nodding along to whatever this man says as he frowns.
I think Artemisia.
How long do we wait now?
Artemisia immediately gets kind of hostile at this presence. I will say, and what do we owe this displeasure?
The man sort of slowly turns, sort of a sidelong glance to the heroes before he frowns and says, he does like the tiniest of bows towards you in general, which Artemisia would know is basically the barest minimum of hellos. You would definitely be worthy of far more, and it would be expected. As he says, "Oh, well, that hopefully makes things a bit easier. I was telling your reception that you appear to be harboring fugitives. If escalation is to be avoided, I would suggest that to be resolved quickly and amicably."
Fugitives of what state? I do not believe that we stand upon any state. Artemisia says.
You're harboring people who are very much wanted by the Queen of Eresia, a name that I hope has not escaped your mind, has it? You, of course, are quite the opposite. However, your status and that of your companions is irrelevant for this discussion. I'm here to receive these people who have sought safe haven in this establishment without any consequences, ideally.
Artemisia looks to Xerxia and says, "Have we gained guests while we've been away?"
He like nods. Yeah, she has a bit of a mischievous smile as she is obviously intentionally not saying who it is.
I mean, Artemisia looks to the others and then looks back to the diplomat and says, "Wonderful. You can wait out here."
He sighs a bit as he says, "I will only wait so long." Before he takes like a few steps back. He's got like his hands crossed behind his back in the darkness. Walking past him, you can see that he is thin. He is like a tall, thin man who has not seen a day of workout in his life, as perhaps would go through Demos's faults. A
Paper guy.
a noble, a politician, most likely. He has this kind of stature, that kind of air of self-importance to him.
I can see on his face that he's a politician. I
We,
don't
we
need
got rid of
anything.
politicians in Metros.
Yeah.
It's a centralized autocracy.
If you can't run 10 laps in like 2 minutes, get out. Like you're
Well,
not
you
getting
know,
enough air to that brain,
This
you know?
is Artemisia's tower. This is the Dragonlords, and here Demos is not a
Wait,
king. He's
how
a
can you
man.
represent your people if you can't even look after your own body?
Well, a healthy body, healthy mind.
Yeah. I think Ariane would like go to the kitchen and like bring him like a cup of tea.
Wow, no, wait.
No?
Not in this setting.
No, not in this setting.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, that gives him guest honors.
All right. Well, she'll go in, fetch the tea, and then stop. Oh.
In most other settings, it's a wonderful gesture. In this one, it
Right.
means something.
And she's just gonna go out the door. She opens the door, goes out. Oh, closes the door again.
Oh,
Oh,
Demos
and
will
then
not
like looks around, like where? I guess. Then she takes a sip. Like that was what
That's what
I was planning to do the whole time. Yeah.
Yep. It was your intention this entire time.
This is my favorite brew.
Harry, help me break the oath system, and then you can give tea to as many people as you want.
Also, Artemisia, give me a history check with advantage.
A history check with
Do
advantage.
you remember this guy as an infant?
Fabricians hate tea. They will kill anyone that offers it.
You know what? That's a flat
Absolutely low,
D20. With advantage. An
Oh,
18.
18, hey.
Bad.
Yeah, Artemisia, of course, being from Eresia, knows perhaps not firsthand how things go in the upper echelons of society, the rulership and whatnot, but enough to know a few things. Specifically that Eresia is a monarchy. And not just, well, sort of like a monarchy of Mitros, where it used to be just Veles, and Veles says what goes. And then it used to be, some other king, and it became a little bit more delegated. Eresia is very much a place where a single person makes all the decisions.
An absolute monarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is also led by a queen, and very. How do you say it?
Stuck up, pompous.
Men are generally not in positions of authority.
It's a matriarchal society.
Yeah.
The queen.
So
would
this
be-
guy he's a touch weird. Like this is not how it really should go. Like the fact that Eresia apparently sends a diplomat in the first place is a bit. There's something off.
I was gonna say, I don't
Narcissus.
think he's actually from there.
Could be Narcissus.
Yeah, polymorph Narcissus. If I remember correctly, I think the Queen of Eresia is also the High Priestess of Narcissus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The same position.
Also, fun fact about the society is that if I recall correctly, is the Spartan way of like living is very much like looked upon like favorably, as well as giving your servants lavish like finery is seen as the height of wealth or something like that. Like if your servants are fat, but you eat porridge, you're doing something good. Well, not quite to that extreme, but it was something along those lines, if I remember my reading right.
As you enter the lounge, I guess you would call it,
Yeah.
you can see that there's a collection of people sitting at said table that I've not yet revealed. They're actually sort of standing to the side, apparently eager to see the reactions, as there are 3 people. There's, first of all, Echo, that you all recognize. She looks... Well, what is your passive insight? Yeah, at least Darius would immediately, and Ultimate as well, would immediately sense that she isn't happy. Like, Echo, you know, as a bit of a free spirit, generally in a good mood. She is not in a good mood. She is, she's borderline pouting, frowning, not angry at anything in particular, but looking towards you, the smile that you know her with doesn't really return, not with any amount of eagerness, anyways. The other 2 people includes one of which Artemisia immediately recognizes, and that is not exactly her mother, but the person who raised her, Halcyon, the Grand Master of the Temple of the Shield from Eresia. She is one hell of an athletic person, rivaling Demos in his stature. Although of course dressed in much lighter clothing in the colors of Eresia, she sits in a chair straight with a bit of a concerned frown and obvious exhaustion. So a few scratches on her clothing. Seems to have been sort of half-heartedly cleaned recently. But it appears there has been a few, how do you put this, struggles she's been in recently. The man to her left seems, contrary to the 2 women, quite content with the situation. A neutral smile that gets bigger as the rest of you enter. None of you recognize him. He is tall, well built, although dressed in a simple toga, nothing else really. He lights up a bit as you enter.
So Artemisia doesn't recognize?
As for Darius, the name is a coincidence.
Copy that.
It is in fact her first name, not her last.
Yeah, sounds good.
Maybe she's named after you.
Oh.
That is not entirely impossible.
Given that you're one of the original Dragonlords, right? Might be a song or something that features a name.
Yeah.
They liked.
Well, so Artemisia doesn't recognize the guy at all?
No.
I guess she walks further in, eyes fixated on Halcyon. Says, so which one's the fugitive?
And the woman Halton immediately stands up with a mixture of likely enjoying seeing Artemisia again, as well as a frown, perhaps some embarrassment, a mixed expression to say the least, as she says, well, that would be the 2 of us. She points to herself and the man next to him. A few things have happened. First of all, I'm glad to see you again.
Artemisia actually lets the comment linger in the air, and before taking a deep breath, and says, I think it is good to see you again as well. It's been too long since I considered your existence.
She looks
Nonsense.
down on the table, avoiding Artemisia's glance, as she says, I know that I should have done things differently. I never quite could decide between duty and family, and the mix I found seems to have been the worst of both worlds.
Artemisia
Aw.
nods, moving a bit closer. As regardless, your actions brought about the downfall of Sidon and Lutheria and the ultimate defense of Mitros and the world at large. And she turns to Aravander and says, as well as the return of true dragons. Now,
That does not sound like something I can willingly take credit for.
no. But I am here nonetheless. So why did you come? What happened?
She hesitates, throwing a slight side glance over to the man beside her, as if accusing him of being the source of all her issues right now. As she says, things have done a turn for the worse in Razio. It happened some time ago. How do I even go about this? He scratches her chin. The Temple of the Shield in Eresia has always been more than meets the eye. It was perhaps not known to you. I've never talked much about it. But it was the entrance to the personal chambers of Eresia's patron god. A few people knew it, of course. It was a secret, although not particularly well kept. Now, she sort of does like a nod towards the man beside her as she says, that over there is Narcissus. Sort of.
I think Artemisia frowns and says, he should be a dragon.
The man first gives a wave and then says, yes, I should be. I can be. It was just considered, he also scratches his chin. Problematic to travel like that. We've been pursued, you see, and we wanted to keep a low profile, and I was told to just be myself, so sort of stands up, presents himself, sort of turning around a bit and says, I didn't quite manage it. I lost a lot of my luster, you see, but low profile, I think I've hit that fashion on the spot. This toga, I'm not used to it, but it's as plain as it can get. He nods. Do you happen to your housekeeping staff, as he glanced towards Xerxia, who glares back.
Yeah, I think Artemisia raises an eyebrow and the snakes of her hair even tilt a little. Oh, is he gonna say something like that?
Dude, don't give these people any food.
You see, I have to admit I'm quite peckish. I'm not used to long treks through any distance whatsoever, really, and I fancy some grapes if you have any.
Unfortunately, Narcissus, I have no intention on giving you guest rights right now. Halcyon, as family, and considering what you did, I can forgive. I do not see any reason why you can't have salted bread and wine.
That's a start. I do like wine. Bread I've never been quite fond of, although there's a sugary variant that I've eaten once upon a time. Never quite managed to get that recreated, but perhaps if you
Narcissus.
replaced it.
Narcissus, I will give you the advice that I will give anyone else who doesn't shut up in front of me while I'm talking. I will give you to the diplomat. You do not let me finish sentences. I've literally been to hell today and back. I can
Raises an eyebrow, nods. Very well, that is a reasonable request. You are a forceful woman. I appreciate your presence. He says that last part as if that's really impactful, like the greatest compliment you can give to someone.
Cheap. Sorry, interrupting. I want to study echo space. What is she looking? How is she looking after all this? That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
Doug-
why is she here?
Give me an insight check.
Because even if she likes this guy, she must be mortified. Oh my god. Insight. Oh man.
How did she know that Narcissus was coming?
I don't know if she did.
Oh well, I don't know.
Echo's faults don't seem to linger so much on this guy, supposedly Narcissus here too much. Rather far away on some other topic.
Yeah, she's wishing. In Arya's mind, it's like, yeah, she too is wishing she was anywhere else, just like me. Like, can I sneak to the kitchen? This is horrible.
I think back here, Dimas, at first when we got in here, he looked at the people here, heard who Halcyon was, looked at Cirxia like, oh, that's not exciting. What were you so excited about? Then some guy introduced himself, and he probably like goes, oh, looks to Darius, does like a look to Ariad, you know,
I think,
and then like he wants
it was
to
my
call Varys.
first thought to be like, some guy. Oh yeah, that's that guy. All right. So think Arya is just like unsurprised, just like, yeah, of course it is. Great.
Darius is just leaning up against a wall like an NPC, ready to, help his friend if need be.
I put Arya so she has the cool light of the fire behind her.
Yeah.
She's inspecting.
I
It's a
think
big deal for Artemisia, just ready to back up should she need it.
Yeah, he's the boss of the Dragonlords.
Mm-hmm.
I think Artemisia looks back to Halcyon and says, so, why should I not just give him to the diplomat? I have no real desire to keep him around.
She still doesn't make eye contact. She says, because his life is in danger. Because after... I'm still not entirely sure what happened, even though Narcissus explained it to me. There is... What do you know about the Queen of Artesia?
What about her? Specifically, there's a lot about her.
Yes, she and her line have ruled Artesia for centuries. No surprises there, however. She has ruled for hundreds of years. She is her mother, her grandmother, her great-grandmother, going by a different name. I have taken Narcissus and fled the city after realizing what was really going on. Narcissus nods and says, yes, you've explained it to me. You've said that the queen could not possibly live on without me, which I am flattered, and I already knew that fact. She is a beautiful woman and very caring. As Halcyon, sort of takes her head and says, Narcissus, I've said that he needs you for her immortality. And not the current you, but the past you. And with that gone, your life is in danger because she's gonna squeeze whatever life she can get out of you. And you seem still unconcerned about that fact. Narcissus frowns a bit. I don't think you know her as well as I do. She is a caring woman. Halcyon just frowns and doesn't engage him any further. He looks back towards Artemisia. I need your help. Everything I thought I knew about Arisia has gone down the drain ever since Narcissus, the patron deity of our dear city, turned into a dragon, and I got wind of it. Had I never found out about it, perhaps he would have just disappeared, but it would have been bad, of course, but I learned about it, and I had to do something about it. We cannot have our city, even if it never did much for you, continue existing and whatever vampiric cult the queen runs that feeds on the life power of gods. Surely you see the predicament here, Artemisia. Even if the city has never done much for you, I still believe that it at least used to be your home.
Artemisia smiles and says, you know, in the travels and all this time, since my exile, I have come to fight with a man who rode dragons in the original Dragonlords. Raised his dragon back from the dead with him. Met a woman who sadly lost herself to a curse. Met a woman who has found her people's souls again in the scythe of Lutheria. And a hero of Mitros who became the king of Mitros. All that time, I still considered myself a Resian. Still jabbed at Mitros and still jabbed at Demos for being Mitrosian. Regardless of how I was exiled, how no one ever looked me in the eye until I met a Mitrosian. I still called myself a Resian, even if I am deeply ashamed of the city that so speaks of honors, but won't protect innocent people when gods come to claim lives. If I help you, there will be to rip apart the festering infection that would be the queen and her hatred for everything that isn't under her thumb. It wouldn't even be for you. You still cannot look me in the eye.
She nods. She says, I understand, of course. I should have done more. I should have. Well, I am here trying to do something now. Perhaps it might be late, but one of the things that I have done in recent memory that I feel good about, despite being, well, not officially exiled, but that is quite inevitable, I suppose.
Halldamir takes a deep breath and says, God, I wish grandmother was here to actually see this unfold. She would have a good kick out of this. But fine, I'll help you. For all your shortcomings and even for whatever he is. Sort of like waves a dismissive hand at Narcissus.
As this conversation is going on, you can sort of hear a knock, presumably coming from the front door, followed by a muffled voice drifting through the doors that basically says, "All right, I've waited long enough. I will be coming in now." As shortly after, we're gonna roll initiative because shit happens.
Well,
But cast Wall of Force on the door.
I was prepared to just walk to the door and put like my Holy Avenger through his face.
I was gonna say, I just saw us all stand, like he opens the door and there's just like a row of the mythic heroes standing there like,
Just unimpressed. Yeah.
what? Okay, alright. Well, he wants for shit. Let's do it.
He wants death.
Presumably, he
Oh,
brought
wait.
Everyone
something for
should still
someone.
have the extra D8 to
I know,
initiative.
we got the
Oh, we have alacrity?
Yeah, it hasn't been 8
Yeah.
hours since we
Oh,
Let me press
entered
that
I
button.
the
don't think it's gonna make much of a
the
difference.
Hell Temple.
we're always so productive.
All right. To set the scene, it is the middle of the night. As these words drift to your ears, the candles and even the fireplace that is lighting up the building here, the interior, flicker, and whatever smaller light sources, the candles, the torches, go out, plunging a lot of the building into twilight and darkness as the flames of the fireplace cast dancing shadows across you. Shortly after, there's a howling, a wailing, as that shadows appear to drift through the walls and, start attacking you, really, as they materialize into, shadowy creatures that lunge at you.
Hmm.
Yeah, basically anything not like in this sort of area is considered dim light. You here. Let's put you here.
You know, they, like,
Alright.
Arisha isn't that bad. Oh, look at these people. I mean, they
Yeah.
seem like cool people, right? Like
I
that.
mean,
These people.
sounds like we're talking about like a vampire queen who drinks blood from a god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
But she's
that's
very caring, so that's
Centaur
nice.
mummy,
Kinda
a
dope.
modified
God.
centaur.
I. You
He
know
just
what?
said it, didn't he? He said it
He said
multiple
it.
times, and nobody listened. He was like,
If
"Arisha, it's
we
that place."
if we want this narcissist to have a bad time, we don't have to do anything other than put him in front of Valis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Drop him there.
Say you're sorry.
Just, hey, I think it's time for family bonding. Let's have them all over.
Yeah, I think
But
you're
not
right
in
in
our
kind of
house.
looking at how many undead serve here.
Mm,
Wow.
look at this.
Vampire used to god blood, huh?
That's gonna be unfortunate for them.
Oh Lord.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not
Mommy?
for
What
me.
Not for me.
Oh Lord.
Oh, and the
God of
Centaur mummy.
beauty, huh?
Mm.
Oh my.
I added Aravandar to the initiative, but he goes on my initiative.
Oh,
I forgot that was a thing, that our bonded dragons go on our initiative.
Technically, Echo and Halcyon are supposed to participate in here as well, but one, that would be NPCs fighting NPCs, which I'm generally not a fan of, and two, I forgot to set them. So just imagine that they are actually contributing.
I was gonna say maybe they
there's
guard Narcissus.
Well,
who
let's
seems
just
to be
say
entirely
there's-
useless.
There's
you
some
know?
shadows that are they're fighting shadows, but they don't need to be involved. If we win, they
Narcissus
win.
is like, oh no, I mean, this is all just a misunderstanding. I'm very happy to see you, and expects them to not kill him. So, these
So-
two people need to guard him.
I am curious at what like level Halcyon would be compared to Artemisia. Like, is she now Grandmaster capable or better? Or
You would be on similar levels.
Hmm.
I
I've
mean,
got
she
cool
does look
gear,
like a
though.
badass. Like,
Yeah.
Where were these people when? Where were these people when Bitters was decked?
I mean, that's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
I'm totally with you on that.
have to be better.
It was in my speech. My ad-libbed speech.
yeah,
Darius,
I really
one of
didn't
these
remember that
shadows on the
speech.
walls is sort of reaching towards you.
Yeah, as the shadow comes out, Darius with a 32 initiative and alacrity, I imagine, maybe saw it coming just a little bit ahead of time, as he calls out for the spectral Dragonlords, the versions of them that should have been, and will fight spirits with spirits. As I will cast Spirit Guardians, and I'm going to upcast this Spirit Guardians. Let's see what kind of spell slot do I need. I'll just make it level 4. Cool. So I have a 15-foot aura around myself. I can exclude people that I can see. I can just about see everybody that's on our side. Yeah, I'll exclude Narcissus and Halcyon and the rest of them, and reluctantly. Yeah, I can see Darethaxel. Yeah, so all of us are safe. Everyone else who gets within 15 feet of me, which includes all these shadows right here, has to make a wisdom save, either on their turn or on mine. The first turn that they are in the area. So 1, 2, not quite this one, but these 3 need to make a wisdom save right now.
4d8.
These 3, that one, that one, that one. A wisdom save. Oh, they're actually
Yeah.
pretty good at that.
Wow, felt quite good. Yeah. So the shadow no number passes. The other 2 fail, and we'll take. And this is radiant damage, so I'm hoping that they'll
save for half.
take more. Yeah. Oh wow, that's
Oh,
terrible.
terrible, right?
13 damage to those 2, 13 radiant to those 2, and 6 radiant to no numbered.
They are in fact vulnerable to radiant.
Yeah, I figured as much.
But even if they weren't, that is in fact enough damage to just straight up destroy the shadows.
Cool. Then for my movement, I'm just going to walk over here.
Mhm.
Wisdom save, please.
The start of the
Uh,
turn, right?
It's the start of their turn when they.
It's the first time on a turn, or starts its turn there.
Yeah, when the creature enters the area for the first time, on
On
a
a
turn,
turn.
or starts its turn there.
Okay, cool. Well, either way, on the start of their turn, they'll have to
pop,
deal with
yeah.
my spectral Dragonlords.
Artemisia.
You know what? Artemisia's fucking pissed. And she's got the movement speed of a god. So he's fucked up. I will spend one of my key points for Step of the Wind, and reattach myself to a grid. Step there for 55, which is my movement speed.
Oh, sorry. As a bonus action, I'd also like to give inspiration to Artemisia because it's her moment.
Glorious. And then walk out here, and declare them to have a bad day. As I'll attack the diplomat for his audacity. In this
Nice.
moment. Pretty terrible rolls, really.
They are, however, both hits.
What was
Nice
the
one.
Too easy.
Your Bardic had special
Wait.
things, didn't they?
Yeah, I'll give you
Are-
epic resistance to necrotic damage.
Aren't those nat ones, both of them?
Oh, they
Yes,
are.
they are fumbles. Yeah.
Wow.
It's weird when I have plus 13s, and it's like,
That is weird, yeah.
What the?
yeah. That's what you get when you have plus 5 dex, 5
Do you have any
efficiency,
like
and
the
plus
heroic
3s.
inspiration from way back?
I do have an inspiration, actually. So I can make those one of those a reroll, I guess. Yeah, why not? I'll use my inspiration to reroll like the first attack. I'll just do a d20 plus 13. And crit.
Nice.
apparently.
Nice.
Good. All right, give me
1
some
to
crit
20.
damage.
You know
So,
what? That's a nice inspiration to use.
so it's
As I say, that's
2d6
that's optimization right there
plus.
for efficiency.
He's not. I'm guessing he's not a fiend or undead, or is he? Because I'd have extra damage for that.
Well, turns out he does count as undead.
Oh, that's really unfortunate for him.
So the thing was like, I shouldn't tell you, but it's relevant. So
So that's my crit damage from one attack.
43. You slice into him, and where you might expect like the blood to flow, you instead shatter his mask here. As the sort of thin thin body of his is in fact far thinner than it appears, almost like desiccated, as he hisses at you. And yeah, his body like partially mystifying where the sword hits. Likely as a reaction to avoid getting hit. However, it's too late. The slice has been done. He is, however, definitely not a man, but some sort of a magical undead creature. The other creatures he is with are far more obviously so, like desiccated walking bodies, partially mummified, still wearing like perhaps headdresses you might remember seeing some of the centaurs from the north wearing, although like even they are like desiccated and eroded as if they had just been like excavated at some point. The creature with a hiss, however, will step forward and try to drain Artemisia, and then slice with a sword.
Miss.
Missing. There's a shadow. The shadow will just go for the closest thing. Let's see. It will try to drain Artemisia's strength. The macro's broken. Amazing. That's not gonna be annoying. It's 11, that is a
Yes.
miss. From the north, snaking around the combat that is currently happening in this corner here.
Aravandar, actually.
I forgot to do Dareth Axel as well.
Yeah. We'll remember them next round.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Just
Maybe
watch
they're somewhat shocked about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Let's see, what's the
Still full
move?
from breakfast.
it.
Yeah. Can't really.
They don't want to
get
destroy their home.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to.
You know, the moment of intimidating you with spooky shadows is gone, so this will hide, move around in the twilight of the room. The shadow will take damage, I assume.
Wisdom save.
15
Yes,
is a
wisdom
fail.
save, please. Cool. Let me roll some dice for you.
I was gonna say I have dark vision and can see through magical darkness. So
14 radiant.
Yep, it is destroyed. Yeah, the shadows, they're not like hiding in magical darkness. They are just simply very hard to see in darkness.
right.
And they are making good use of that. You could use an action to do a
Not good
perception
enough.
check to spot them.
Well,
I tell you, however, a passive perception of 11 is not enough.
No,
Neither
I
is the
don't.
17 that Darius has.
What about
I'm
my
gonna-
18?
I was gonna say I'm gonna let Darius care about shadows. He seems like he's got a system figured out.
Barely.
You know,
Just call
just
the old Dragonlords, be like, you do it.
just walk around. I'm just saying, you hit them like you literally just walk around. Come on, chop chop. Dimas, would you like? I think that maybe I'll delay to after Dimas because he's kind of in the way for the most direct path for me to get out there. That sound alright, my guy?
Yeah, it's fine with me. I mean, you do what you want to do.
Yeah, I delay
I'm
until
probably
after
just
you.
gonna follow Artemisia out there.
Yeah, me too. But you're in my way, so
But you can
go.
walk through friendly squares.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
Maybe
only
just kinda
enemies you
stick
can't
with the
walk
rain,
through.
yeah.
it's so far.
Yeah. Is it? Oh, I don't know.
Ride your dragon.
All right. Well, those are my actions.
Don't forget your dragon. We forgot our dragons.
Oh.
Or maybe,
yes.
I mean, you can just fight without. Oh, okay.
I don't think we
what
need the
movement
first one.
speed do they
Honestly, I
have?
think I
Oh,
got this.
40.
You guys go for a nap.
You know what? Argan can Argan make a perception check? Oh
Sure.
no, that means I have to see if I can find the perception.
Perception.
They do have blind
They do have
sight.
blind sight 30
Oh.
feet.
You know what? Maybe Darathaxel and Aravendar went through the door and are making their way around. Because they don't want to ruin their home.
Yeah. You know what? That makes sense. Let's just put them like.
Yeah,
the door's
50
fine,
foot
right?
move speed, so they could go 100. They'd be like, here.
Yeah. Like,
There we go.
oh, like side by side. How beautiful is that?
Aw. Buddies.
Since whelps. Well, since whelp
Yeah.
size. Really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Xerxia got to be full size, and they did it as babies.
Yeah, they
anyway,
have blind sight. And
do I need to roll a perception check or
Yes.
with Argan? I don't. Oh, I have to
plus
go back.
8 for
plus 8.
stores.
Yeah, blind sight does mean they can see without relying on sight, but the hiding in the shadows,
It's not like tremor sense or anything like that.
yeah, it doesn't specify that they automatically detect hidden creatures.
Yeah.
So I'm like this is the shadows taking the hide action. I don't think blind
Right.
sight just
25.
removes that. 25 is plenty. It is in fact like right on his face.
All right. Can she bite it? I feel like she'll bite it.
The perception check
Oh, that
takes
was a
action,
action.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
but you've Argon has spotted this one.
Yeah.
This white will intercept, right, drain,
No.
and slice. Oh.
No.
This shadow, is it within 15? It is not.
No.
It wants nothing
Careful.
to do with those.
It'll have to make a very delicate arc around, because like that
No,
book, that chair. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
It's gonna go this way and hide. Is that an action to hide?
Normally, yeah.
It is a
'cause,
bonus action. Okay.
uh,
Go
but
here.
I know rogues have that, like, they're bullshit to hide for a bonus action, don't they?
See.
Stop,
The
bitch.
guy, I'm gonna change his picture even though it's not exactly how he's dressed. Let's see.
Ooh.
Will turn into mist
Alright.
and fly 10 feet up.
I mean, Artemisia's gonna attack it. I don't know if she can even hit it, but you know, attack of opportunity, smack, right?
Yep.
26.
26 hits
Or
for 10 plus 5 radiant. Alright. Yeah, the mist almost disintegrates. It's clear it's like trying to get away at this point. Like it wants nothing to do with any of this anymore. Or at least wants to have its minions do their thing. Everyone gets surrounded here. Brain, longsword. 22.
You know what? That hits. Except I will use my Shell of the Dragon Tail. Oh no, I used my reaction, so it does hit. Sorry.
Yeah. It is he turning? He's not. 6 slashing damage.
Sure.
Demos.
Oh well, gotta just do this. So take a walk.
Through the dragon-sized hallways of the headquarters.
Yeah,
It was very purposefully built for large dragons.
here and then we'll over here. So I can't really engage in time anyway. So that's a double move.
All right. The large centaur skeleton will glare at Artemisia with a dreadful glare. In fact, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Sure. Is it a magical effect?
It is not.
15.
15 is a success. Nothing happens. And then it will try to slice at you with its ancient pike. 21
Yeah, that hits.
for 12 piercing damage.
Oh, 3 left.
As a reaction, I'm going to use Visions of Danger. I've had this forever, and I always forget that I have it. Where I can move up to my speed and then cast a beneficial spell on an ally when they take damage. I don't think I can do the spell part, however, but I'll see Artemisia in danger and start making my way.
Okay.
Gone.
She'll be over here.
See this guy. There's dragons outside. That Shadow doesn't want anything to do with those things. That's not its job. It will move. That's an attack opportunity for Dervaxel.
Oh yeah, cool. She'll definitely
Actually,
feel
it's
bite.
an attack of opportunity from Aravandar as well, because bite is a 10-foot reach.
Oh,
all right.
Double bite.
Wow.
It's a nat 20 from Dareth Axel.
One is not like the other.
And that 20 hits.
So for an extra 12, so oh wait, hang on.
29.
What do I roll for fire? D6. So 6 fire damage plus 28 piercing.
All right. Do Dervaxel's attack count as magic?
I don't know. Let's look up young dragons. I don't think they do actually.
No, I don't believe so.
They do not. So
And
the
when
Shadow's
gotta cure them out.
resistance to all of that. So that was 28 plus 6, 34 halved is 17. Then the Shadow Assassin will hide as a bonus action. Keep going. Guy's dead. Aravander just had the Shadow escape.
He goes on my turn. You can actually you can remove him from the initiative entirely.
Darius.
Yeah, Dareth Axel will do the double move and keep flying. I will use Misty Step.
Their flight
Travel.
should be like 80 feet at young silver and young bronze.
So, hang on. Apologies. There. You know what? I think I think I'm just gonna like get right up in that grill. You said this guy's flying, right? So he's.
Yes, he's 10 feet up.
Cool. I think I'm just gonna go and I'll figure out the exact positioning, but goal is get everyone in Spirit Guardians. So I think that does it here. Yeah. And for my action, I'm just going to take the dodge action.
Okay.
And Juniper can go over here, Misty Step with me because she's my familiar, and then I'll have her back up a little bit. She'll go. Actually, Artemisia is about to attack. She use the help action to attack whoever Artemisia is about to attack.
Yeah, that centaur's gonna go down.
Cool. Then she'll go. Yeah, she'll go over here so no one else can attack her, but she can still help you out.
Oh.
All right. Amnesia.
Right. So, Aravandar will fly and then double fly. Like right
What's
up.
their fly speed?
80. I looked it up. It's actually
Oh
on
shit.
our tokens. On the
Oh,
token
sorry.
form.
Yeah, Darth Axel should be like here too. Then there we go.
And then Artemisia is going to lay into this centaur mummy. Pretty brutally. That button. So I'm going to use a flurry as well. 18, a crit. So,
We're on 18s. Oh my god.
no,
Oh no, the next one.
the
I see.
33s, I think.
I see.
Yeah, those are all hits.
So I'll just 11 plus 3, 14 plus 10 plus 9 plus 12 plus 7. 66. So
If it matters, that first one actually should be a 27 because you had
I
help.
had advantage, that's true, but I think I
It
hit
does
anyway.
not matter.
Is it vulnerable to radiant? Because that would affect a couple of
That's
hits.
a good question. It is not.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, that's it. Start easy.
Right. This white will continue trying to. Actually, first of all, it
Wisdom
will take
save, please.
damage.
Yeah.
That's a
Makes-
pass, but it'll take 7 radiant.
7. He is also not vulnerable, so he will just take 7. Then he'll turn around and attack the source of this annoyance. Try to life drain Darius here.
Nope.
And longsword Darius. No.
Nope.
See, this shadow, I mean it's gonna die. I tell you that much. Rolling some damage though.
Sure. 13 radiant.
Takes double its hit points. Okay. See, this shadow is sitting on Argon. It's not aware that it's being spotted, so it'll just go like here. Argon
Well,
gets
that
an
sounds
attack
like an attack of
opportunity.
opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come
Trumpet.
on.
Yes.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Wow.
It is however resistant to the non-magical damage. And we'll double move right here. Area it.
Is it still hidden?
To area it would be. Argon didn't really have an opportunity to communicate its presence.
How can it hide right next to me?
It's a shadow in a dimly lit hallway.
Yeah, I see through darkness. Like I have
It's
perfect
part
dark
of
vision.
shadow, that's the thing.
Oh.
It's
Yeah,
So,
it's
like, I don't.
literally made of shadow, so
It's like seeing through darkness almost sounds like it would backfire in this case.
Yes. Oh, it's just the air. Well, I would not know that it is there. So, I guess I'll move, you know.
Right. You will feel the shadow next to you lashed out. If this macro weren't broken. Nope, it's still broken. Please work.
Oh.
There we go. 14. And with that lashing out, the presence of the shadow is very
Ow.
much apparent to Ariad.
Well, that's rude. Oh, 14 is what it did to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Never
Yeah,
mind. Not
40 to
hit.
hit.
I was like 14 damage. Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Probably the strength drain that makes shadows scary. Not so much their damage.
Sorry, I have to find out my the Helm of Darkness. Does that just cast the darkness spell as written?
I believe so.
Yeah, I'll look it up. If it is here, I don't know if it is here. It's not an item I can find.
It's a special item. The Helm of Darkness. It spreads from the helmet when it is worn and fills a 15-foot radius sphere. The darkness will even spread around corners. A creature with dark vision can't see through the helm's darkness, and non-magical light will not pierce it. The helm's wearer, on the other hand, has dark vision to a range of 60 feet, and you are not affected by the helm's darkness. So it's just around you in a 15-foot square.
Okay,
Sphere, even.
so it would not hit Demos and Xerxia here, from here where I am?
Yeah, it will not.
Great. Activate my helmet.
All right.
And
Turns
then...
out the shadows can't see through the darkness.
Hey, it goes
interesting.
two ways. You know. And I will wait, is that an action to do, Sheep? I don't...
To like uncover your helmet, I don't think so. That's your free object interaction.
Cool. And then I will quicken my Eldritch Blast and send 6 beams at the central mummy,
Okay.
who is a mini poo. Six. Oh, and they're all at an advantage, right? Because he can't see from where I'm attacking.
True, yeah. Because you're hidden. Because I do the same trick for my shadow sorcerer.
Beautiful.
Yeah, those are all hits.
Do I have to roll again? More?
None of those are crits.
No, yeah, the second one is for the...
Yeah, after
Other
3
four,
hits,
right.
the mummy already goes down.
Okay, well...
You know, it had like, what, 90 odd hit points and...
One looks disappointed.
One flurry from 2 great heroes. Take it down.
Alright,
Yeah,
well...
The bolts of force smashing into it, making the whole thing disintegrate.
Well, alright. oh, okay. Yeah.
Anything
Then she'll
else?
turn around and look menacingly at the shadow next to her. You fucking next, dude.
Yeah, it cannot see the implied threat.
That's true!
It feels
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah,
I
alright.
can't even feel scared of what's happening right now.
That's a failure. Takes 17. And then, I mean, they haven't really been told what to do about Dragon, so he's just gonna try to life drain Artemisia here. Sword? No. There's a shadow that is also... 16 is a fail, I think. Give me some damage. Yeah, it evaporates. It was
didn't
there.
see that one. Nice.
Ooh. Okay, he makes it. Roll me some damage.
Oh.
10?
Yeah, the gaseous form of the former person, question mark, disintegrates under the onslaught of the holy appearances. Just sort of
We don't even look
evaporates.
that cool in this battle. It's just a bunch of spirits fighting each other and getting slain.
There's a lot of weird lighting effects going on, to say the least.
Very cool. Very cool.
It's a rave. That's what it is.
Doing it. Juniper starts dancing.
Ooh, 23.
Oh,
10 slashing.
Oh, it hits. And a waste.
Demoth arrives as the fight is
Yeah.
online over.
It's completely dark and has to do something about that. So We will press a button as a bonus action to turn my spear into a flame tongue longsword, which sheds bright light in 40 feet.
Nice.
Sure.
We'll begin swinging them in. So I'll do the first one against this one. If I can kill it, I'll move along to the next.
First two are hits. It is not enough to destroy him.
It's 20 damage
See-
for the first hit, and then 17 for the next. I guess that should be slashing damage.
He is slashed and burnt and hanging in barely, although the undead creature shows no sign of pain or even discomfort.
Oh, dragon will fight it.
And that is enough. Chomp down and rip apart the creature.
All right.
Let's see. I mean, this is all terrible for these guys. Doesn't want to touch the spirits. Can't quite
That's
make
too
it.
damn bad.
Gotta go here. Darius. Gonna put these corpses away.
Might as well just go for a nap, honestly, Darius.
Yeah, I think Juniper will go help Darathaxel. Darathaxel will bite. It didn't matter. 25 for 9 piercing for fire.
Yep, that hits.
And then, yeah, it's not even worth using my spells. I think maybe just take out my sword.
Yeah.
Is Chill Touch effect undead? I think
No,
it has.
Probably necrotic, isn't it?
No, if you hit an undead target, it also has disadvantage on attack rolls until the end of your next turn.
They barely hit anyway, so I'm not worried.
Yeah. On the other hand, maybe we should just get them gone. Yeah, offensive spells are not my thing. Yeah, I'll just draw a sword and use Booming Blade. While holding concentration on. Sorry, I have so many fucking macros. There we go. No attack bonuses, no bless, no nothing. Ah, not one. Not my thing.
When was the last time you used that thing?
Booming Blade?
Sword.
I used it against Sidon. I was truly tapped with spells.
Yeah.
Maybe even against one of Kentimane's hands as well, but certainly in game it's been a couple years.
Yeah.
And it's like, I knew there's a reason I never use this damn thing.
Alright, Artemisia.
Artemisia will throw them retribution. I'll aim for this one first.
Those are all hits. Although the first hit already is enough to disintegrate him.
Okay, well, the second one can go on. Third one.
The second... Well, the
Fourth.
second and third is enough to destroy him as well. Slice, slice.
So now that I'm mounted on Darathaxel and we count as sharing the same space, does the Spirit Guardians now do a 15 radius from her?
Let's not worry about that right now. I'll have to look it up. I think you'll have to choose the square that Darius is on.
Gotcha.
Is it alright if we just get a coffee break? Because I need just help Mel with Renarin as combat's over.
Well, combat isn't technically over.
Does that shadow exist?
Far
More
as
than a
we
few
know.
seconds.
Yeah.
As far as we know, okay. Can we kill the shadow?
I'm pretty sure we can take care of it while you do what you need to do.
I was gonna say I can see the shadow, and I have 6 beams pointed at it right now.
Yeah, I am hesitant to just end the combat here because these shadows are the highest CR creatures in this combat.
Okay, alright. Yeah, I mean, let's fight it. Screw it. We'll finish up. 21 for 22?
That hits, biting into the amorphous shadow. as well. He can't really see, but he knows roughly where Arid has been. So if he just moves south, he'll eventually find her.
Jump.
15 is it. But I believe he has to attack with disadvantage because he can't exactly see Arid.
Technically, it would be the doors I would use. 10-foot reach. Got different damage, so I don't want to be like, and probably possibly misses even. I don't want to budget.
True, yeah, he wouldn't have left the bite's reach.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're not
Yeah,
wrong.
that is a miss then. I'm gonna
Yeah.
give him a
I don't want to.
All right, he's
Yes, a disadvantage.
he's gonna attack Arid twice. 14 and 11.
No.
The shadows try to slice at Arid. Don't really do it. Arid.
Well,
She
since he's
started
close to
blasting.
me again,
You can shoot in melee at him, so long as he's your foe.
I guess it would just give me no advantage then.
You don't get disadvantage if your range target is the one that's within 5 feet of you. It's only if you're shooting someone that's not engaged with you
really?
that gives you disadvantage.
Yeah, you can point blank him.
Yeah,
no
you can
problem.
point blank them without
great.
disadvantage.
All right, well, I'm just gonna do 3 beams, I think.
We had this discussion in my campaign yesterday.
So there's
Those
still
are
an advantage.
all hits.
No.
Are they at advantage? Well, it doesn't
Well, you
matter.
can't see
They
See, yeah.
they all hit either way and are not crits. That's 23. 37. Alright, he's still hanging in there, but turns out he's not resistant to force damage.
Great. Arkin would like to go too.
Oh yeah. If he can fit.
Yeah.
Hops
She
over around.
is a dainty lady.
Yeah, she can get onto the stairs.
Yeah.
She can fly 80 feet. She can do it.
She doesn't fly in here.
I mean, you can't really fly indoors. Even
Yeah.
if this place is made with dragons in mind, not with a dragon's wingspan. Like, you don't have barn doors everywhere.
Now,
I have one barn door. All the way up there.
is it still hiding the set? Like,
Dramatic
would
entrances
she
only.
have to spot it?
No, it has attacked, therefore it's visible.
Oh, great. All right.
I made that giant double door for when they're huge, so they can actually fit in.
That hits. It is resistant, however.
That's fair.
Alright.
Many of us will be alive by the time that happens.
Yeah.
This
That's it.
assassin.
Oh, it's Demos'
Well-
turn first, isn't it?
Sorry, yes it is.
Do I know it's here? I have normal light.
Like this is all plunged into supernatural darkness.
Yeah.
That is
So
true.
So I have no idea what's happening in there. I have no way
yeah,
to see.
basically.
Which just means Demos is gonna look around and hear some commotion, and like move closer, try to just sort of have Suksha like reach out a claw and sort of poke around.
I mean, Zerxia can't see anything either. She
Yeah.
can sense the terrain with her blind sight, and like
Look.
she knows where Ariad and Argon are, but
So
not
they're gonna
really
walk
anything
over here
else.
to this wall and just sort of if we sense something that's not them coming past, we'll attack it. I guess
Yeah, sure.
I can't deal with darkness well, especially if it's formless. So even blind sense can't do it.
Yeah, there isn't really anything to sense with these.
No.
Speaking of sensing, Timizia will get 2 shadow blades this macro's broken to.
Oh, you know, it's so rude that they do this.
They've been told to do this and nothing else. 20.
Not in the mood. No, not that button. This button. Show the dragon turtle. My AC is now
He
23.
rests. Alright, it can't do much with that, unfortunately. Darius.
I would like to move forward and offer Artemisia a hand to just get on Dareth Axel and command her troops, her spectral troops, as they'll be her vanguard. They're coming for Artemisia, so might as well just put Artemisia in the middle of the Spirit Guardians. If you're cool with that, Halldamir.
I'm gonna kill it. Not gonna stand a chance against me.
No, for sure. But there are more of these things some elsewhere, right? And they're invisible, and they're coming for you.
She'll consider it after her attack.
Okay, cool. Fair enough.
You could always prepare for her to.
Yeah, and then I'll take a ready to action when she does. We'll just dash forward a little bit and get this other assassin. And or, you know what? I'll go in here. You can come join if you want.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. Yeah, because I can hear something going on with Ariad, and the spirits know not to attack her or Argon or anyone else. So, just gonna get in here. And then my turn. And
Right.
the point of origin will be the square that Darius is actually on. I'll use his token as the Spirit Guardian's point of origin.
Sure. Artemisia.
I'll attack the thing. That's a crit on my own fists. Apparently.
13 misses.
It's an extra D8, and then magical fists because I'm a monk.
Okay.
So you know.
How much damage is that? 24 plus 27 is 51.
71.
Oh, Lord.
If they're vulnerable to the radiant, then it's like an extra an extra 25, I guess. Oh, it's double, isn't it? So it's.
I'm not gonna do the math. He's dead. The shadow disintegrates.
And I mean, Artemisia will certainly come. Hop on board. Dareth Axel.
I do believe it generally takes an action to mount a mount.
I think it does, yeah. And where was I? I was here, right?
I can tell you it's not gonna matter that much because this assassin has 4 hit points left, so no matter what he rolls, the Spirit Guardians are gonna kill him.
Caravan does bite. Maybe misses.
Yeah, and
I was gonna say Ariad like pushes her vizier up or whatever, like the thing, so the helmet like shows up. All right.
combat is over.
Oh, gonna go help Mel with an angry baby. It should be like 5-10 minutes. I imagine.
No worries.
Right, back sec.
Yeah. Well,
in the lounge, the commotion dies down as well as Halcyon, the woman, is standing in a fighting pose that is basically a mirror image of what Artemisia
yeah,
uses.
eerily similar.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a
Oh.
Holy Avenger sword, does she?
No, I don't think so. I love it when you were like, "Oh, demon smirks. His god is his like patron god of the city is still a
Well,
god."
you
It's
know,
like, oh my
Metros
god.
has the patron,
Idiot.
the goddess of light and goodness and healing.
Yeah.
Well, they have some sort of wicked vampire monster, so you know.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, just yeah.
The eternal debate has been settled, I think, thoroughly.
Yeah, Darius gives a dirty look to the spectral Astor Arcalander, who he now commands, before dismissing them, and turns to Demos and says, "I have to assume that with Narcissus' demotion, that their forces have been significantly weakened, because if not, I fail to see how they would still be standing against your incredible forces there, Demos. This was trivial."
We haven't gone to war with them.
Are we actually sure that that person came directly from the Queen? Other than the necromancy at work, at least.
Seems like him.
Wouldn't know.
By the
It's kind
way,
of hard to
I
have
don't see if it
much of
really
this knowledge.
matters if someone else was willing to come here and be destroyed, so that in order to lure us to go deal with other things like it, so be it.
If we're not on your territory, technically, I don't think so. So this wouldn't count as an active war.
No. Well,
So not against you, but against the
it did attack
Dragonlords,
me,
perhaps.
but
Yeah.
attempted assassination of a head of government usually considered pretty bad. But no, I mean, Demos doesn't consider these people to be representatives of their kingdom, really. I mean, I think it's more like leeches that stick to it. Head off the Hydra, as it were. Hmm.
In the lounge, other than Halcyon with the eerily similar stance to Artemisia, you can also see that Narcissus, rather than, turning into a dragon and helping to fight, has apparently opted to cower in a corner, with Echo standing over him protectively, and now that the combat appears to be over, tenderly trying to basically calm him down as he seems utterly panicked by this whole situation.
Pretty much just like shakes his head. What an utterly useless waste of person to have been given godlike powers.
Hmm.
What has he done with it? Just nothing.
Do I recognize
Fed up
his,
empire, apparently,
Yeah.
is what he's done.
do I recognize his humanoid form or his attitude as Aristanor?
Well, Darius's memories of that time way back are hazy. You could give me an intelligence check.
Right, I'm not terrible at those. What's my proficiency these days? Because I get half of it.
Do you remember having a coworker who's just like the most
Just the
pathetic
worst.
loser? Yeah.
He made himself so easy to not pay attention to.
It's like, oh, my nail.
Yeah. 5,
Like,
so
oh,
2,
great.
6.
Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
we there yet?
Not one.
Darius just
Uh.
gives him the sickest stink eyes. Just like in his mind, he's already made up his mind who he reminds us of, and it's just whatever person he liked the least.
Yep.
That's this guy. Doesn't even matter what he looks like. Oh, that was a woman in her 40s. No, this is this guy. That's fucking
Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, Darius, of course, remembers having seen, like, presumably who he says he is in his dragon form, together with his rider. Where's the name? It's gone. Oh yeah, Jacina Vertrek. However, her defining trait, as far as he might remember, was secrecy. Like she always like stood apart, mostly just hanging out with Narcissus here. Even
Was just
considering
the
that
rogue of our party.
well, maybe sort of that sort of stereotypical behavior, but she certainly wasn't a rogue class.
Meet her soon enough.
But even in the family of bronze dragons, in the family of Belmitra and such, Aristanor was always like a little bit apart. Why Darius doesn't really remember, but yeah. I mean, it could be the same creature, even if he's, apparently preferring to stick to human form and apparently hating to fight, despite, being the mount of a dragon rider.
I definitely remember what it's like to be rusty after all this time, so
It's he doesn't seem rusty, he seems to refuse.
Interesting. Well, we can at least assume that it is based on how protective Echo is of them. I'm pretty sure this is actually Narcissus, so
Echo's relation to Narcissus.
We don't know, but we know that Echo. I believe it was Aristanor that Echo was looking for,
Yes.
and Echo is being very protective of Narcissus, and Narcissus is
Oh.
Aristanor. So that
What?
implies that Echo at least believes that this is
What
Aristanor.
if they only just made it here, but they've actually been fleeing since before she came and asked for help? She didn't know where Narcissus was.
Ah,
So
but
she
she
went
knew that
here.
Narcissus wasn't
It wasn't there.
in Arisia. Ah, that makes sense. But
Also,
yeah,
she
they
could do
must
so
have
much
reached
better.
out
Oh my
because
god.
she was in the Centaur lands like a couple days ago.
Well, these guys had a mummy from a recent excavation. We just found a place that had recently been excavated.
Yeah. Yeah.
True. So many things going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, let's take a short break until Halldamir can come back.
There probably is more to this guy, Narcissus, but I think Dimas probably writes him off a little bit as being clearly a pathetic loser.
I mean, he definitely has the appearance of a, at best, naive, at worst, ignorant pushover. Like, you know, he might have the body of an athlete, but he's certainly like tiptoeing around, not really fitting into any definition of warrior culture, to say the
So
least.
say, I wonder if he is like just that clueless. And like in my mind, it's like maybe he's just like a child. Maybe he's like super young compared to the others. But I don't think he is. But it's just like, I mean, surely if he was grown up, like
Even if
it's
he
like,
was at the time, it would. Yeah.
you know,
Maybe he's faking it.
yeah.
But Val
It is
certainly
easy,
didn't like him.
easy way not to have responsibility, you know.
Val just weaponized incompetence. Val certainly didn't like him for unexplained reasons. As in, I don't want to talk about.
Gonna say, I know. I think I know why she didn't like him.
Well, yeah, but presumably there was some sort of incident or some causal event that made them split. And I figure,
Manifestation of
do
their
you, I
personalities.
mean, I think maybe the original dragon rider is the vampire, right? It seems.
Oh, that Justina Ventrek
Oh,
is.
shit.
Been there the whole time. And that's why he's like, oh yeah, she's so nice and cool and awesome. And she was always so secretive, never showing up in sunlight. You know, she's so weird.
Oh. I just love the confident look of her big fangs as they go into my shoulder. It's like,
Always
I really want to go
so much-
back to the necropolis and look at all the names because
Narcissus was a little pale and anemic the whole time. You know.
I mean, even within that one, Darius can probably think of combinations of sunlight and Justina Ventrek colliding without
Right.
flames.
that doesn't mean that Justina didn't become a vampire later in life.
What is a vampire even? I mean, it's a complete assumption that that's the case, but I mean, Dimas wouldn't know, but presumably it's some sort of Lutheria thing, right? Seems...
I mean,
I wouldn't know.
Halcyon used the word vampiric in the context of the word vampiric, like leeching
Literal.
life of something. Like a vampire isn't a thing like that anyone really knows about.
but something Lutheria made seems to be. I mean, given what we see here, seems somewhat of a death
I mean,
That seemed
related,
her
You could-
wheelhouse. Yeah,
leech related.
You could give me a religion
Halldamir,
check.
I am.
you
down.
missed some theory
I
crafting.
Some what? Theory crafting.
Yeah, we
I
think
love
that Aristanor's old rider is the queen of Arisia and is a vampire.
Maybe. And we also figured that Narcissus has probably been gone since before Echo came here, and she wanted to find him. So he's been fleeing for like a while.
Yeah, I think the thing that she was hiding
Probably.
from you is that she knew that
He was
Narcissus
gone.
was gone
Yeah.
from Arisia.
But
Oh.
she
We
didn't
know.
know.
I mean,
But she didn't know where.
she showed up after the big battle, and we know that in the big battle he would turn into a dragon.
Yeah.
The timeline lines up for that to all be the case.
True. Yeah. I like the theories. I like it.
Because
And
we were
if-
like, well, what
if-
if, you know?
So that's actually kind of sad because that would imply that Jacina's been abusing Narcissus this whole time,
Mm,
and Narcissus fled, and now
that's exactly it. I think.
that would
I don't
explain
know.
Narciss's childlike behavior.
Did
If it's just
Narcissus
like a
flee, though?
I mean,
victim.
you're making assumptions that are putting you into a very dark direction, which
Yeah.
is probably not the reality of this story.
Fair.
I don't think he fled. He doesn't seem to really want to flee.
No, yeah, I think he was
It's maybe
dragged
more
away.
true that he's been kidnapped.
Yeah.
So not entirely unwillingly, it seems.
Well, maybe. I mean, you sort of raise a
Yeah,
fist and do
definitely
whatever you
making some
want. Right?
moves.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, whatever. Did the
I'm curious.
diplomat like leave, like drop anything in his mist form?
Not that you can see. Well, he left his clothing
Oh,
as
okay.
he turned into like gaseous mist, but upon further inspection, it's like all ripped and old and like dusty and not
Yeah.
nearly as splendid and splendorous as it appeared at first glance.
Okay. That's fine. In that case, go back inside. Artemisia much more pissed off, I think.
I was gonna say it's time for them to explain some things, or the weapons don't have to come. Like go back inside. Fucking.
I think yeah. So I think Artemisia like storms back in. Presumably they've dealt with whatever they were fighting.
Yeah. As I've described before, I think you were gone then.
Yeah, maybe.
Halcyon is still in like this combat-ready stance, looking around. That is basically a mirror image of what Artemisia has been taught, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Echo is currently trying to calm and basically tenderly assure that everything is all right. The cowering and somewhat panicked Narcissus, who rather than turning into a dragon and helping, has found a corner to hide in.
Yeah, I think Artemisia will like glance around the room before going back to her seat as if that was nothing for. I mean, it was a good warm up. She gestures towards the seats again and says, "Right. So who do I blame for bringing that to my doorstep?" I'm only assuming Narcissus.
Narcissus doesn't feel like responsible, it appears, but Halcyon takes a step forward and says, "I suppose that would be me. We have been harried by those strange creatures for a while, although the attacks were much smaller in the beginning. I will admit I didn't quite know where to turn, so we made our way here, hoping for your help."
Well, if I wasn't already determined to help you in this cause, I certainly am now. An attack on this manor is an attack on myself. And unfortunately, we've killed gods and he has not. So, what do we do? How do we approach this? You have more information than I do.
She
I'm sorry.
scratches her chin as she looks away thinking and says, "I think a lot of Arisians, while you've built a reputation, and an impressive one. You are considered an Arisian, even if obviously a large part of Arisia had their concerns about your condition. I fear that, the most effective solution would be for all of you chosen, you titan killers, you world-changing characters, would be to march into Arisia and simply smash whatever strange dark cult has built in the highest ranks of it, I don't think that would go over well. It would escalate. If you, as she sort of gestures towards the doorway that Demos is standing in, were to set foot into Arisia, it better be with an army at your back. I think, Artemisia, that if the two of us and some of my contacts who think similarly as I do, that Arisia deserves to be the city it pretends to be, were to tackle this threat, we could do it without escalating into all-out war that would threaten even the innocent. We could be surgical. We could use your reputation. We could truly change things for the better.
Artemisia nods. I agree. The problem for Arisia and not a problem that Mitros or its king can resolve, and she looks back to the party and says, and I think the three of you realistically have much more drastic things to deal with. More pressing things for yourselves. Kira being one of them. Yeah, stands up, like looking back to the party and says, do any of you object to me going alone to fix what is the... She sort of gestures to, like, outside the manor, whatever that was, if that's really infected Arisia to its very core and upper echelons. No, I cannot leave it like that.
You just give a nod and say, well, you'll have whatever support you need. Though I understand the implications should I show up myself. Funding your intelligence in whatever form we can provide shall be made available.
Artemisia nods, then looks to the others.
Yeah, I think Ed is frowning. Like, I would never tell you no. I think that if anyone, well, fortunately, your previous master, however, is probably right. But, well, it's far from me. I know that I should not be worried, but of course I am. And as Dima says, we're but a call away. Whether it is Aricia and its queen that troubles you, or any trouble coming to you. And she gives Narcissus the biggest fucking stink eye. And also, you know what? The trio over here, they're all getting it. They're all bad people in her mind. The Grandmaster, who's been apparently, which she just learned, has been a giant asshole to Artemisia. She's like, nah, the worst mom. I does not condone bad parenting.
Artemisia's mum died a
She's
long
going
time
full
ago.
counter mom on this. She's like, no, you're a horrible woman.
I
You
think
should feel bad.
I think she's like Artemisia's great aunt or something like that.
Well,
Like
she's
her
not great.
grandma's sister.
She might be an
something?
aunt.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, no. They're getting the stink eye here. It's like crossed arms looking at them. There's that like threatening of like, I hope you do something stupid so I get an excuse. But yeah, she'll give Artemisia her blessing. Not because of those people though, because of the people. Actual people of Art or of Asia.
Narsa seems completely oblivious to any sort of stink eye. He still has a bit of a smile now that he has calmed down. He even perhaps says something along the lines of, complimenting how well you fought, and really good, really good. Echo, on the other hand, seeing that gesture, that look from Ariad, like she sort of not exactly subtly positions herself between Ariad and Narcissus and sort of almost returns that crossing of hands. Like, there's definitely things it appears that Echo would like to say, but doesn't. In fact, she hasn't said so much a word to any of you so far.
Demos is curious as to what her relation to this whole thing is, but I would feel like it's really his place to ask.
Yeah. No, yeah, she's mostly getting stink eye because she's in the corner with those two other people. Like, you know.
Darius looks like he's having a hard time with this, but doesn't say anything and is, not getting in the way.
Mhm. I think last but certainly not least, Artemisia will look to Aravandar. As we both know what I swore that day. Will you help me in this?
He doesn't hesitate as he nods and says, I would think that Eresia too has libraries and such. It would be interesting to investigate the differences to what Metros has to offer.
I think what Eresia is when we arrive and what Eresia is when we leave will be vastly different. She turns to Halcyon. Says, very well. You have my ability.
She smiles and nods and says, thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing what you've learned along your travels put in action for the betterment of Eresia and the betterment of all of Phylea, really. I do, however, have a request, perhaps. Not for you, but in general. She sort of glances over to Narcissus. I can imagine you don't have a great opinion of him, but I do truly believe that he is in danger, and those who are threatened should be protected. It is one of the tenets of the Temple of the Shield. However, taking him back to Eresia would be inadvisable.
Artemisia looks to Demos with a smile and says, I think either your father or Valus would very much like to see him. With like a wicked smile.
Without hesitation, he'll say Valus. Vala doesn't deserve that. Come on now.
I actually want to see your father see him, honestly. It would be my...
doesn't know. He gets... Demos said, look, he gets quiet when he's reminded of old times.
Echo pretty much immediately speaks up and says, I can protect him. I can protect him. We will disappear into the woods, never to be seen again. There will be nothing chasing him. I will make sure of that.
What is your relation?
Narcissus looks shocked at the mention of moving into the woods, but
what is your relation to this whole thing?
Echo looks towards Demos. Says, it is a long story, one that started centuries ago, really.
Just the chairs. Certainly.
He'll nod, sit down.
All right. Sit down.
I feel like at this point, maybe we should have all the cards on the table.
Oh, yeah.
At this point, there's no reason to avoid talking about it. It is the reason why I came here in the first place, although I envisioned things going differently. The situation was vastly different than what I thought. You see, I knew Narcissus. I knew Aristonor before he was Narcissus. I knew his rider, Jacina Ventrak, and, well, I also knew Aristonor after she had died.
Hmm.
I didn't immediately make the connection that Narcissus was Aristonor, although it did not take long for me to understand, or at least suspect. There was a competition held in Aresia some years later, after I had already given up ever trying to meet with Narcissus again, as securely kept as he was, that whoever would hunt the white stag in the woods of Aresia would win his favor, and more than that even. And I did. I spent weeks and months tracking the elusive creature, and eventually I brought it down. But when I brought the price, the proof that would connect me to him again, so we could rekindle our relationship, I was denied. The competition supposedly had been aborted, and I was not told of the reasons why or anything. I was shunted out of the city and pretty much gave up again. I assumed that Narcissus had heard about my victory and decided that he wanted to have nothing to do with me again, despite everything we had before that. And so I traveled, I lived, and years passed. And now, I stumble upon these two being haunted by ghosts in the woods, or shadows, I suppose, after returning from my assignment in the lands of the Centaurs, and now I've learned that Narcissus didn't even know of my victory of the competition, for it was the queen who said that she had hunted this stag and won. It was her who denied us being together. I had come here trying to perhaps make a connection to Restinor's previous life, so I would better understand what he had gone through, how he thinks like, what he was like, so I could reconnect. However, it was never necessary. I was cheated. That's all there is to it. In the back, Narcissus nods and says, "Yes, I never knew you won. I was told that you weren't interested in me anymore, which was sad. After Jacina's passing, I do remember our evenings together, talking, just reminiscing about things. It doesn't take a high passive insight to realize that he was going to mention something specific and then pivoted.
Sheep, can I make an insight check here? Because that seems like a mighty coincidence that she just happened to stumble on them in the woods after returning from the Centaur lands.
Sure.
And also, I'm trying to remember if, because clearly Echo is from the original company as well. I'm trying to remember if Aristonor had like a secret admirer or a lover or someone in the old days. Dirty 20.
Well, with a 20, I can tell you that sometimes coincidences just happen. Especially when I have to make things happen quickly because of
Yeah.
chaos.
I figured.
So is Echo like a human or an
Uh,
elf or?
She is a dryad of the woods.
Oh,
Well, not a dryad, but what's the word?
Yeah, I know what.
A nymph.
mhm.
One of the nymphs.
She is a wood nymph.
That's why she can live so long.
Yes.
So they met at some point between when the Dragonlords came to this place and when the five ascended.
And
Mhm.
as far as the timeline is concerned here, for Darius, it appears the two met after Aristanor had already split from the others and basically,
Yeah.
you know, been called a traitor and oathbreaker. Well, not oathbreaker, a deserter, basically.
Mhm. Sorry, I'm a little hazy on the details here. Was Aristanor there when Balmitra first stole the power? Because it seems weird that would happen beforehand, and then he would become Narcissus.
He was not present. No.
Oh, so just like by virtue of being a child of Balmitra,
Yeah,
he received it?
by as far as Darius can tell, by accident, basically. He had nothing to do with any of that.
Phrasing.
So Dragon just deserts, and then one day he's just like, oh my god, this is awesome.
I guess we'll turn to. No, I should say, what made you split from your siblings or your family?
He Brown sort of looks away, clearly uncomfortable, as he says, "Well, I was never quite as devoted as the rest of my family, I suppose. I of course agreed to the goals, but the methods always they worried me. My family was talking about this grand world of peace and justice, and I saw the beauty in it. But I also saw the ugliness and what would have to be done inevitably to reach it. You weren't there. You didn't see exactly what was done, what was discussed, what was accepted. And while I still strongly believe that the morals, the ethics, the goals of my family were admirable, there were too many things I disagreed with. I do not want to talk about specifics. I've never been a creature of war. I've been one of. I wanted what we were working for, but I did not want to work for it. The reality of it was just too much. So, Justina and I had to talk. She was an artist, you know. She didn't talk to others much, but didn't even talk to me much, to be honest. But we never needed words, really. And we just silently agreed that this was not going to be a battle we could agree with in its entirety, and therefore we pretended that we were not part of it.
Well, he must thinks that's very irresponsible.
Of course, even though we decided that we weren't part of it, she still perished. And then I had even less interest in continuing anything. And as it turns out, after a curious circumstance of being blessed with divine gifts, I suddenly was faced with the option of being in a place where I could easily pretend that everything is fine, where I could just simply be and enjoy the company of others, and not have to pretend, or not have to think about all the bad things in the world. Considered naive, it very much is, I'm aware of that, but I wasn't really entirely sure what alternatives there would be.
Well, I think we'll bring both of you back to Mitros. Can speak to Valis there. Maybe at least have a conversation. That much will be mandated. After that, the Shrux wish to disappear into a forest. But you're right.
What?
Doesn't sound like you're interested in helping anybody doing anything.
What benefit is there to open old disagreements? Why? No, you're right. You're right. I should talk to. I should talk to
Well-
all of them. Really, I don't even know what's going on. I mean, I didn't want to know, so I was never told about much.
You don't have any news.
Not anything that happened, and yes, I can't even remember the last news I really. No, I do remember the last thing I heard about, primarily regarding my family. I don't know if you know her, Akirania. I think she, of course, went by Kira for a lot of years. She had a falling out with a rider, and as it turned out, we actually did talk afterwards. He was the only one who knew where I was after I left, and what she had experienced just solidified my decision, really. And that really is the last thing I know about. I have, although I will say I have heard all about your exploits. You're very powerful people. I know that much. That has resonated throughout the world so hard that even I heard about it.
Oh.
He nods as if trying to convince himself that he knows anything about you.
So you knew of the war in Mitros.
That. Well, yes, I was at least part of the beginning of it. But that war exactly is something that I decided I wanted to avoid. Hence why I left.
The slaying of Kentamane.
I had not heard about that.
The
Well-
halting of Cantamane, not dead, but to rest for a while.
That seems like a
I meant
grand
he was
deed indeed.
slaying us, but yes.
You can't miss the sight on your way to the city. Well, regardless of how you may or may not have handled it differently, you are not wrong that Estor was the embodiment of everything you feared. Perhaps by going and speaking with Tisofali, you can perhaps mend some old wounds, but if not, you both could provide some valuable information to the other that would help in Artemisia's mission, I imagine.
Really more that Bellis has done enough for me that she deserves a chance to talk to you.
Xerxia sort of nakes her neck towards Demos so she can whisper as she says, "And I deserve to be present when those two meet."
I love
Oh,
her.
yeah.
This is the
I'm definitely
best.
warging in on that one through Juniper's
You know,
eyes.
it's
Good.
fun,
All the people just gonna sit there with their ears to the door, like,
Like, Hell yeah.
Look, when they come out the door, pretend like oh yes, it's a very interesting thing
We're
you
gonna write
just
a
said
play
to me,
about
Sir
this.
Player. Yes.
Cool.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna be probably cold and awkward for the first while. You know, people haven't talked in 500 years after a bad falling out.
Yeah, I was
that's,
gonna
um,
say, I think Ariad is like seething a little bit. Like, dude, this guy is like, yeah, sure, the Dragonlords weren't great, and then he did nothing for the 500 years of peace, and
Imagine someone doing that.
you know,
Hey, we've all got things to make up for.
you know, this is like, all right, well, that's great. My entire family died, and this guy was like eating grapes, despite being a god.
Mm.
I think she's, yeah.
Mhm.
She might actually, I think at this point, she would go outside for a little bit. She'd be like, yeah, all right, well, I don't want to ruin our nice home here.
I appreciate that.
You know? Gorgeous.
Yeah, well, I mean, I figure that's the call then. I mean, RTBC will go with Halcyon to bring
Mhm.
Randar to deal with the the Euresia problem.
Ah, yes.
Mm.
Political
And,
meetings with
Oh,
the
like,
this is
fist.
not going to be.
break
Yeah,
them all.
it's going to be murder. That's what.
It's totally a major weapon. It's made for this, right?
Okay, yeah, I got a
Yeah,
Holy Avenger.
true.
It's
Oh, that was so
Yeah.
incredible.
they're gonna
Holy
feel.
Avenger of
Yeah, I would
moving
just
all
learn that they're all
vampires.
undead
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
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 And we will bring then Echo and Narcissus to Mitros at first.
Well, Echo isn't quite done yet, as she'll look up, turn to Artemisia, and say, I must ask, why did you send me to the centaurs up north? And then you show up yourself to do what I was told to investigate.
Artemisia smiled and said, I wanted to see what you would do. But you were gathering information, and then our timeline escalated. We knew what we needed to do, so we acted.
I thought my mission was some sort of test, and I was ready and willing to do my utmost diligence.
It was a test.
To then
And you passed it.
to then see you barge into that camp, bullying your way into the information you needed, destroying any goodwill that might have lingered with those creatures, was disheartening.
Artemisia looks over to Darius and says, unfortunately, Darius's repeated appearances caused a few issues.
That goodwill was long and truly destroyed.
Yeah.
That was an attempt to salvage something, and I would actually surprisingly say I succeeded.
Yeah. But it was initially a test, okay? I sent you there to gain information for I wanted to see how you would conduct yourself. And I was pleasantly surprised. And have no regrets in taking you into this organization. And in fact, if Demos did not so willingly offer you a place in Mitros, I would have asked him as a favor to this order to take you in, to keep you safe. It was a test. You passed.
Don't think I belong to the Dragonlords. I go where Narcissus goes. But I don't think either of us belongs here. No matter, I found out more during my investigation. Things that you need to hear. There are things afoot amongst the centaurs. They are not a unified group by any means. And the things I've heard they worry me because they might very well mean that they, in the near future, do become said unified group. There's a Minotaur of all things who has been talking to the various centaur tribes. You, I believe, saw some of his delegation. He has a way with words that is uncanny. I do not have too much experience with it, but there's magic afoot. Powerful, strong magic that makes his words make more sense, touch more hearts. Even I felt myself nodding along as he talked, even though in retrospect, of course, I saw the madness that he wants to conjure. Not that this magic is required to unite the tribes, as your reputation certainly precedes you. I still think that this person, this creature, is a threat to the safety of a large part of Ilea. If he succeeds in his saber-rattling, warmongering ways, then there will be a tide of centaurs that even during Sidon's reign hasn't been seen. There is, however, I believe, a way to perhaps not solve the situation, but at least make up some of that goodwill you think you've given up completely. For you see, this Minotaur, Zakroth is his name. He did not anticipate that the centaurs would be, well, borderline uniting themselves against you. So he had precautions taken that he would, in fact, inevitably rule over a large part of them by taking some of the children of some of their leaders prisoner. They are not aware that it was him. He has presented it in such a way that you, in fact, are the ones responsible. And of course, they believe him. How could they not? His words are coated in honey and sugar. If, however, the prisoners were returned and the situation explained, you might be able to, well, put some things right.
Do you know where he keeps them then?
I do believe I know the place.
Suppose we could drop in uninvited.
One last ride?
That won't be enough. We'll need proof that he was the one who kidnapped them.
Won't they say so themselves?
Well, hopefully, but if his honeyed words are as magically laced as Echo claims, that we may not be able to rely on that.
Bringing
Let's
them
be
back to their
diligent about
families
this.
is still the right thing to do.
It is. I didn't say we shouldn't do it. I'm just saying let's try to do more than that. We need to have an ironclad case that we did not do this and in fact brought them home.
Once
Otherwise, we may be seen as duplicitous, simply returning children that we ourselves took and trying to blame a Minotaur.
those
That's
who would
not-
see us in such a light, we cannot convince them of anything.
Certainly not if we don't try. But anyway, that's the rescuing the kids comes first.
Tell us where, Echo.
I know that it is north of Eresia, although I don't know the exact place. I also know, or at least heavily suspect, that some part or group of Eresia has relations with Zakroth. I don't know how exactly. She sort of borderline looks defeated as she doesn't seem to be happy with her intelligence report here. So, as Halcyon will pipe up from Zek, so we suggest a two-pronged attack. Artemisia and I will travel to Arisia as planned and not only investigate the festering corruption, but also the festering corruption related to the Zekrof, which very well might be the same thing. Perhaps we get information where this place really is. Perhaps, she sort of shrugs, we can find out what a Minotaur and Arisia have in common. But inevitably, I suspect this place needs to be, well, dealt with in a direct manner.
Right.
Problem fighting those who would just kidnap children.
Artemisia looks to Darius and says, I think it is good if I take the sending stones. Or sending stone. So we can keep in contact.
I was just about to suggest something similar. I believe you already have one. And gestures out. Say again?
I do.
Yeah. I'd like reach an open palm out to Echo.
Echo reaches into a pouch without breaking eye contact before dropping the stone into your hand, as she says, I do truly appreciate that you told me of your coming to the centaurs beforehand using these magical devices that were intended for exactly the purpose of communication. Except you didn't.
She's saying that to me?
Just in general, into the room.
I think
Like,
she's
I'm
just
not
being
your boss.
bitchy. Yeah, I think she's just being bitchy.
Yeah. If memory serves, you were asked to look at a different tribe than the one we were planning to go to, and we weren't expecting you there. But anyway, that's in the past. Oh, simply a comment that she exceeded expectations in the lengths she was able to travel.
Indeed.
Yeah, if kids are in danger, I don't even want to take a long rest. I think we should just go.
I don't think we know where it is yet, do we?
Yeah, you don't know exactly where it is.
Mhm.
These are hostages that have been there for a while. If you want to
Okay.
rush, you're welcome to, but there isn't any obvious time pressure other than, it should be dealt with.
Yeah.
Gotcha. If I can get a description of them, I could use divination magic and try and find them.
Echo cannot supply a description.
I think they've been
Okay.
gone for a while.
Might be able to
Can she
just go
describe the
there and
Minotaur?
tap out.
Describing a person is not going to be enough for any sort of divination.
Okay.
At least not on the level that Echo can give you.
Manakai, can I take 250 from the bank?
250 gold, nothing. I feel like that's a yes in all instances.
Let's see here.
And
How
you
much
know,
money?
Because
250?
it's going to take a few days, but I'm going to start scribing a scroll
Wait,
of
how much
detect
money?
thoughts. 250, please.
250.
Yeah, I'm going to make a scroll of detect
Take
thoughts
800.
and 800. Oh, okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
we must have 6 figures, surely.
Yeah,
At the moment,
But-
no, we don't have 6 figures because a lot of it is reserved.
Oh
for-
yeah, I reserved 25k for.
We spent
city.
25 on a twist on a trickster island village,
Yep.
and then you have 20,000 Halldamir.
Yeah, 20,000 because I've got 5,000. Fine.
otherwise we would have. But we spent that on the village, and yeah.
I'm thinking that showing up with the kids and a scroll of detect thoughts and submitting myself to the Phoenix Lady to read my mind will probably get the job done.
Oh, I'll probably do it.
And I can rig her Arcana check to ensure that the scroll is successful. I can't think of a better way to debunk the propaganda.
Hmm.
But it's going to take a few days to make, so I'll get started on it now.
It is worth noting, just in general, that your average person might not necessarily know the specific semantics of a spell like Detect Faults. Like, if you hand her a scroll of some spell she doesn't understand and assure her that it will totally tell you what I'm thinking,
That's true.
it's not really gonna work that well.
She's a smart lady.
Okay, I mean, what do we have persuasion skills for? You know.
That's true.
I know, but I'm trying to use every tool in the box we have.
Right.
I was just going to do the right thing, and then believe that people will begin to catch on eventually.
Hmm.
Where? Sorry, this is me as a player talking because I was totally outside for a little bit there. But like, maybe one of you guys would have asked it. Where in relation to the ruins that we appeared in would this minotaur like be?
A
located?
significant distance to the southeast. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
a long, long way.
Mhm.
So if you look at the Mitros map, I believe Arisia is here,
Ah,
and she said north.
Area map?
Yeah, so left of the
right. Yeah.
map we're on now. So Arisia's like down here. She said north of Arisia, and we
Okay.
appeared up here, like in this area. So it's like it's
Yeah.
most of the
But he's
continent
trying
away.
to unite all those tribes up here.
Yes. Presumably to finish what Sidon started
Yeah.
or wanted to
Yeah.
start.
The closest that we could teleport to reliably would be here, and then we would have to fly south to wherever this area is where the kids are being held.
Yeah. But Artemisia is going to go to Arisia, learn of where it is, and then I think if she just goes near it, just gives gives Darius the like scrying ability on her, or
Falls
even
in
just
an
Aravander,
airstrike.
and then just he can teleport in when everybody's ready, or teleport near it at least.
There's one other very important, well, potentially important topic that needs to be brought up.
Mhm.
It's perhaps you're getting into in-character discussions of how to approach this. As Narcissus sort of almost hesitantly like clears his throat and says, there might be something else that you should be aware of. In fact, I'm almost certain I know the exact magic that the Zakroth uses. Tangentially, anyway, so the description fits. You see, it was very much in the Queen's interest that I returned to my divinity, and I too wanted it. I lost my beauty. You can't imagine how little I feel like myself right now, and it's very distressing. So I started investigating. I'm smart. I had all the resources of Arisia available, at least whatever they were willing to deliver to my chambers. And I think I figured out a way how to become a god again.
What?
And one of those things is an what's the word? An ampule of a magical one that creates a liquid called ambrosia. And if you imbibe it, you become very convincing, you become an icon, and you get this aura of importance. It's one of the ingredients. It's an artifact.
I don't wish
Very
to
old one.
burst your bubble, Narcissus, but I have no intention of returning godhood to you.
I did not suggest. I just figured you should know that I know a few
Right.
things.
Although,
So
if he
the
knows,
Minotaur probably is on
Has
some ambrosia juice.
or the queen's after it, or all of the above,
All of it, yeah.
they all know about it.
There are two more items involved that I know
Right.
about. One is a staff called the Caduceus, which has impressive life-giving powers, or so I was told. I did not learn much about it in my research. I was, in fact, told by the Queen herself that wouldn't be difficult to acquire, whatever that means.
Ah, she already has it. They sit there with the scepter. No, yeah, that's all right. Let's talk about that one. Okay.
And the last item I believe to be in the sunken city of the Sirens. A
Oh.
spear called the Promethean Fire, forged from the first fire stolen from the gods, or something along those lines. It might just be a story, but I believe it is a spear.
A spear.
Would you
Yes,
know
of-
where it is?
You mean
The city.
yeah?
I know how to get there, or at least know how to find it.
Well,
Narcissus has suddenly become Ariadne's favorite person. Within one
Ah!
I'm gonna need
sentence.
all of those research. Yeah.
Speak.
Ah!
Does Ariad openly carry around her sword?
Yeah.
Wait hang on. Hold on. Sorry. Please keep going. I'll tell you in a sec. I just realized something.
As Narcissus is sort of side-eyeing Ariad's sword, as he says, I was told about a line of weapons forged in that very city by some divine creature that I don't know the exact details of, that, well, I can't help but notice that you have one of them. I have a good eye for those things, you know. Fine craftsmanship I can spot from a mile away. I always could. The reflection of your sword never quite shows what it should, does it?
No. It shows.
I believe it shows the reflection that you would see if you were in that city of the Sirens. A somewhat distorted version of it, anyways, and I believe, given some ingenuity, that you could lead you right there. I don't know how exactly, but I had some very smart people working on theories, given that one of those weapons would ever be acquired. Though I don't know what any of those theories actually are, because they never got back to me.
I think Arya just has like a lightning struck sort of like she's not listening. Like, well, she's listening, but it's like she's not there right now, sort of look. Just like, oh wait. And it's just like gone.
Like slammed into her.
Yeah. Like, now she's trying to frantically, like her mind is like overdriving on like trying to figure out how that would work. So she's just like, sorry, what? Yes.
So, if you collected those 3 items and were capable of some very powerful magic, and most likely somehow got external divine support for your plea to ascend to divinity, it might work.
Do you think this Minotaur is looking to do that?
If he
Well-
is aware of what he possesses, then most definitely. I mean, who wouldn't? Anyone who knows about this would go to any lengths, I'm sure, to pursue this. Except myself, of course. I've given up.
And your
Nero's
queen
eyes.
I'm sure of it.
told
Because we-
you that she would find this out so you could return to divinity.
Yes, she. Well, as much as I want to believe that she really cared for me, I think she was using me. You know, Alcyon has this look of, oh God, finally he thinks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Ariad is like, oh, yes, okay, yeah.
I think Artemisia says, "Do me a favor, Halcyon, just hit him with the spear. Just hit him, idiot."
You don't have the spear yet.
Oh, he doesn't have. Hit him with anything. There's a book behind him. Just hit him on the head with it. Maybe that'll knock his brain into gear.
Well, I think that you're right. She might also be looking. What I was really hinting at was that perhaps she will go for the option herself. I mean, she doesn't need a middleman. If she were to become a god, I do believe she would live forever, presumably, without your help.
Well, I don't think she is pursuing it right this second, because you see, I always knew she was using me, so I didn't tell her everything. But it's nice to pretend that everything is fine and people actually care for you, you know?
So we
Echo
needed
cares.
3 things.
So this
right?
guy is just like denial city.
No, there's 3 ways of getting godhood.
No, you need
No,
the
no,
3
all
items.
three.
You need the
Okay.
3.
and to do some sort of something with them.
Some sort of
And
magic.
So we
also
need the
be
spear
accepted
from
by
the
other
sirens,
gods.
Spear from the sirens.
The ambrosia juice from the
Minotaur.
Minotaur.
Is that like an unlimited supply sort of thing?
Well, we don't know if he has it, right? Like,
I'm sure he does because we've
It just
faced him
seems like-
before.
yeah, his symptoms are.
We've faced him before and killed him, but yet he's still here apparently.
No, that's
So
a
you
different
have?
Minotaur.
Are you sure? I remember. I couldn't remember why, but Zakroth sounded familiar, and I'm pretty sure that was the warlord that we faced on the in the Battle of Mitros.
That might have been an oopsie by me, who just used the same name again.
Maybe they were named after each other.
I can assure you, you did not face this Minotaur yet.
It's just like,
Okay.
you know, people can have the same names.
Zakroth, we've killed Zakroth Jr.
No, it's
Well,
just
bastard.
Zakroth.
And what was the
No,
third?
maybe it's someone named after him because he's just so awesome.
It's just a common name, that's all.
Just a common Minotaur name.
Yeah,
That
we've never.
generation has actually like.
Okay, well
30%
that's
sacrifice.
good because I remember that guy was hard to kill.
It actually
And-
means firstborn in Minotaur speak.
It's
Um,
like Mark or Tim.
Yeah, it's
So-
really common.
So how? What was the third thing?
The items that Narthus can at least describe in rough parameters are the
It's
Promethean
stuff.
Fire,
Mhm.
which is a spear forged from the flames stolen of the gods. At least, you know, that's how it's described. Whether that's really it, who knows? That is ambrosia, or the ambrosia even, which is really like an ampule that generates this magical, divine, borderline divine liquid that if you drink it, you apparently are really convincing. And the last thing is a staff of life called the caduceus. a word that you might recognize because the caduceus is the symbol that hospitals use.
Yeah.
Oh.
The
Do we know where
septal
that one
two
is?
serpents.
He doesn't know because the Queen of Eresia told him that that's not a big deal to acquire.
Okay, so the
Oh.
Queen, the Minotaur, and the City of the Sirens. Those are the 3 places we need to hit.
Well, I mean, so we go free these kids, right? And then maybe we can face the Minotaur in sort of an extension of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but first we need Artemisia to find out where they are.
Yes.
And then
there's
we'll get
the
contacted.
City of the Sirens.
Perhaps
How
do.
close
So,
are we on that?
out of character, of course, a lot of this was planned before Haldamir's decision to leave. I think that the whole Eresia thing is something that you can trust Artemisia to handle. There might, of course, be consequences from it. However, maybe that doesn't need to be the focus going forward. Finding out where this the prison fortress is could either come over time from Eresia and Artemisia's exploits there, or you could just, search north of Eresia. Like, Echo has a rough enough location that you can start, looking for it. Like, that is also an option. You don't have the exact location, you can't teleport there. It'll probably take a few days, and you might get spotted as you're looking for it. But you can definitely find it without, super secret information from Eresia. Or I don't even know who it was. Echo mentioned that she suspects there's a connection to Eresia, to this place. That is also the same thing. You can probably find out about it either during your visit to this prison fortress, or Artemisia might find something out during a time in Eresia. That's something that'll just happen with Halldamir being gone.
All right. Well,
I
yeah.
feel like
I
in
think,
character, if it's rough enough that we can find it on our own, we should just do that.
I think so.
Is that something we have time to do now, or
No.
All right. Yeah, I mean, once we have one of them, no one can do it without us.
Mm-hmm.
That's
that's
true.
sort of the first thing. Is just get one of them, so we don't suddenly have to deal with something already.
And really, Ariad's got the only known way of getting to the lost city of the
Well,
Sirens.
Yeah, I mean, he did say that there was like a series of weapons, so
Yeah, but it's the
Man.
only known one. He didn't have
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
He didn't know of one, so...
Yeah,
When-
surely you can take your time and just do it
Oh, of course.
in 10
yeah,
years.
Yeah.
no.
Surely nothing else might
Pressing.
be looking for any
I've
of
never
that.
heard of a D&D campaign where things are time dependent.
Time sensitive. Yeah.
Things might happen outside of your control.
As we see the Kraken with like 5 shiny weapons just like swinging around like dowsing rods. Oh, where is it?
Godhood, we got Eresia, we got the Kraken, we got Hell, we got Kira missing now again.
Hey, once we ascend, like
Because the Arya does not wish to ascend.
in every
I mean-
city, there'll be like many cities called Demosia or something.
Demosia.
A big lighthouse. It's gonna be great.
I mean, you are right, though. As far as Narcissus is concerned, as long as you control one of these items, it won't be possible for anyone else to go through this particular path to ascension.
I was gonna say, Valis talked of 3 different options, paths of divinity. So
One of them was this. So
yeah,
I think
So-
going for this is a very good idea. Just to make sure
Mhm.
no one else has it, right? And we have all 3 of them, and no one else can have them. Then see what happens. We explore new avenues
Possibilities.
of being able to stop bad things from happening.
But out of character and stepping away a little bit. Obviously, I didn't want to leave the campaign, like, because I wanted to. And I definitely still want to leave the possibility open that if something large does come about where Artemisia maybe can get away and maybe come and join the group, I would still love to do something like that.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Halldamir. I neither wanted to suggest that
No, of
you're leaving us high and dry here, just
course. no.
deciding to
I just-
prioritize family over this fantasy. Like,
Yeah.
how dare you?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I want
how dare you be a responsible father?
And
definitely.
absolutely, if there's a situation where it seems like super sensible to have Artemisia be involved, then I might poke you and be like, hey, do you think you can
Just-
make time for it?
Yeah, let me know if it's coming up and when it probably be, and then I'll see about arrangements for it, because I can probably make it with good enough like forward planning. But yeah, it's just the formalities.
My goal was basically to put Artemisia into an area that is most definitely relevant to the overarching story. But it's Arisia. She can do the Arisia things, even if they were intended to be content that was actually played out. But it seems appropriate. Artemisia is not retiring. She's just over there doing important things.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's so many threads going on that while I am, I'm sad to not play with you on the regular anymore. It is also kind of nice to just be like, okay, this one's taken care of. We'll spin all the other plates.
Is dealt with. Like,
Whew.
I believe last time we intended to have a session, and I basically said, hey, with Halldamir missing, my plans went out the window. So
yeah,
especially that was going to be the session where I drop a lot of stuff on you. I'm not even done yet. We'll talk more next week.
Oh boy.
I am putting a lot of flags into the map of Phylea.
Yeah,
but
you are.
I'm certainly wanting to, even if I'm not an active player anymore, like coming every week, every session, I certainly want to still be in the background, still kind of around and able to, I don't know, maybe push some things.
Do you want to be the new person who gets annoyed by my sending every day through Discord?
I'm into it.
How are you on recording? Like
On
doing
recording,
stuff?
I can't set it up. I just don't have a reliable evening to do it. But I'm recording right now.
You're recording right now, yeah?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good. Just if you get that up, I could try to do it like in the future, and then you could always continue following along. Right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I work from home and I watch a bunch of TV while I'm working.
Just, you know,
There you
what's
go.
up
So,
there.
Yeah.
listeners, for next episodes, head over to Manakai's channel.
Yes.
Yeah, they're probably gonna be there.
Yeah, I think that's the easiest.
I don't want to
place.
mess with stream keys.
No,
if I can,
no.
if I can avoid it.
But yeah, I think that's the.
Well, and yeah, I mean, after today, the two of you can, there's more room for spoilers, I suppose, because you won't be making decisions until you come back. I don't know. So if there's something big coming up, hopefully there's enough notice to make it work.
I imagine Sheep will know probably a session or two ahead of actually coming out. Like, I imagine that he'll be able to go, oh, they're going in that direction.
Just zeroing in on the date.
I admire your confidence in my ability to anticipate what the hell's going on.
Yeah, no, you're right. We don't exactly make it
Hey,
easy
if
for
it
you,
is
do
to enable a cool scene or a cool battle, I'm incredibly willing to be told, okay, but this is what we're doing now. Like,
Yeah.
out of
Yeah,
care,
exactly.
like, it's like we make the story, we decide what makes sense, and we can make most things sense. This was not something we knew. Now,
It makes sense.
give Sheep a week, it makes sense. It's like, no,
Yeah.
it's this was the plan the entire time. Yeah.
I'm fully willing to get my ass kicked if it means that, we pause and then next week Artemisia comes in with her Gandalf moment.
Look to
I'm
the
into the ether.
I
He is
mean,
expert.
Look to the south.
as she step off the winds the entire way. You're like, oh, there she comes. Yeah,
Airbender's keeping up.
that's
The-
there's
the
well,
trailing behind.
yeah.
Honestly, a fortnight notice is probably going to be enough time anyway. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll see what I can do about planning. There, I can.
you'll
No, I
probably
can't
know
say anything, but
the session before, I imagine. Like surely. I hope,
Mm.
or at least you
I-
can say, "Be ready."
But yeah, I fully agree with Ari. If you need to like, the flexibility is there. If you need to pull us in a certain direction, to make some timing work, we'll all do what we can to make it work.
Yeah,
all right.
we're not.
That'd be great.
So don't feel like you have to then just like completely anticipate our moves sheet. Like it does go both ways.
Yeah,
We'll help you out.
we're making a story. Yeah.
And if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. I'm not gonna, I don't want to slow you guys down terribly if I can't join.
No, we'll make it work to get you in.
It would just be really cool to
Right
be
now,
able
then.
to
Time to time.
jump in, because I don't want to leave the. I love this, love the story. I love the characters we've got. I love what's going on.
Oh, I
just-
loved seeing sassy Artemisia again. I was like, oh yeah.
Oh, my favorite.
That's the
It's like-
Artemisia is just the whole.
You're like,
thing.
you're like, oh, is this my favorite? I was like, it's the only Artemisia. It's the only
She's-
one. It's the
she's
true
not-
one.
She's not charismatic at all. So it's either
Yeah.
she's quiet or she's like, fuck you. I don't know. Who do you think you are? Like, she's gone through enough shit, and I totally forgot that Eri, you don't know Artemisia's like the backstory.
No, yeah, exactly. And it's like, oh, great. This is like fucking. Oh, all right. Who's yeah?
It's literally
Look,
like
Ariad lost her first family. She's very tied to this one.
yeah.
Like,
Oh.
it
no
was-
one fucking.
I totally forgot when I was like dropping parts of those. It was like, oh god, yeah.
It's just like, oh, the temperature of the room is falling. I mean, it's like the shadows are wrapping around her, looking. Mm, yeah, no, yeah.
'Cause, I mean, since session
Narcissus over there acting like a fucking god.
yeah, because since
Mm.
session 0, Artemisia has been exiled from Arisia.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I knew that, but I
Yeah.
wasn't like, oh, great, her masters. Oh, all right. Like,
Yeah, it's like great auntie grandmaster of the temple exiled her because she was told to because Artemisia's a Medusa. Like,
well, also just like
Racist.
the person's like, oh, she still can't look you in the eye, and it's like, all right, it's already
yeah.
hold me back.
But what I love is what I love is being able to basically say that a Mitrosian is better than you, because like
Yeah.
session 1, Demos. I remember Manikai saying that Demos isn't afraid and looks Artemisia in the eye.
Yeah.
I distinctly remember that, and I made note of that for whatever might occur, because I
Yeah.
imagined we'd see
Bruh.
Arisia
Bruh.
at some point.
That was Darius.
I think everyone said it. Darius, I think Demos
No,
took
'cause
it.
I
after
was given the
Darius.
heads up because Versi knew all of the details about everyone,
Yeah.
and then you came in all shy. I'm like, that was like one of the first things. I'm gonna look her right in the eye,
Yeah.
and then I'll tell her everything.
But you doing it isn't as impactful as a Mitros, a person of Mitros
True,
doing
true.
it.
Yeah.
Because it's a big fuck you to the Grandmaster of the Shield.
Yeah.
A simple hero of Mitros is more of a
Braver.
is a better
Yeah.
person than you.
It's because like Ariad would have like she never would have she's never even considered that there was like a threat. She meets Artemisia and it's like, yeah, this is Artemisia. It's
Yeah. But I mean, yeah,
cool.
before you joined, we fought
Yeah.
the whole like prejudices, and it was
Yeah.
only because I think Artemisia started getting a reputation that people stopped being quite
Mm.
so avoidant
I
of
think
her.
also like
Yeah, we had like an Olympic Games, and there was a delegation from Arisia, and they were racist, and then also
The
Acastus,
king
like
was a racist.
Yeah, like by the like tally of the score, Artemisia
Yeah.
won the tournament, but he was
Yeah.
like, champion Demos, who came in second.
Yep.
It was just like,
It's a whole thing. And funnily enough, Artemisia's only, with her own ability, petrified 2 people, and both of those were Medusas.
Yeah, you know.
Although the Gigans with the Medusas,
is that true?
they
The
were
only
awful.
people that you've petrified are other Medusas?
With my own petrifying gaze, the only people I have petrified with it have been Medusas.
Okay. Oh yeah, there was the time. That
'Cause I
move when you
took one
like
of their
ran off the
heads.
ship and then used the super Medusa ability on all the Gigans. That was so cool.
That was one of my favorite heroic moments of Artemisia, I think.
When you were like hiding behind them, like from their ranged attacks and
Yeah.
jumping around. That was amazing.
Took a lot of giant bolts to the face for that. Thank God
Worth.
for deflect missiles. Also, the cool thing about being able to like skip some stuff is I presume that sheep will be kind enough that if you level up and get into a big fight, I can level up with you.
Well, you'd be
Yeah.
fighting your
No,
own fight.
You'll be doing stuff.
No, you're gonna be stuck
alone,
on
so.
14 forever. No.
I do solo encounters now, so
Yeah, you gotta beat that queen and get all that XP
Oh
undividedly.
shit! Yeah.
You
She
guys
shows
have
up
to-
with the
See,
staff.
that's
In fact,
2 actually.
Us skipping that content means we're gonna be lower
Yeah,
level than
power level.
expected.
Right.
Boom.
You know, Artemisia's going to
We'll
rock
have less
up.
enemies.
But
at
now we're
level
dealing
20.
with, stuff made for 4 people. It all evens out.
Level
right.
20 Artemisia would be absolutely terrible.
You know what? We'll work towards it.
I
We'll see.
don't know.
We'll see what we can do for the power fantasy.
Get us
Monks
that
are
healing staff, right? Yeah.
I mean, it's like stupid stuff. Actually, I think it's level 18 is like the last really cool thing for monks. Level 20 is just like if you roll for initiative and you don't have key points, you gain 4, but you have 20. So
Yeah, as far as a capstone goes, that's pretty situational.
yeah, it's not really great for level 20. Seems pretty lackluster. But 18 is where you can like turn invisible for a minute, become resistant to all damage but force, and then you can astral project yourself if you want to. That's the last really cool thing. On top of the other things that
Guess it's time to pack up all of our God's God research and get to Aravandar and be like, you know what? Combine the knowledge with what Narcissus people have found, and maybe together you find even more.
But the plan for Narcissus, by the way, I believe, is just to take him back, have a conversation with Valis and such, and then I don't see a reason that they can't just sort of do their own thing. The others are doing that.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
ideally, don't move too far away, but like,
I
if you
mean,
want to just have
Well,
like
the thing was that they want security because the Queen of Arisia will probably come after them.
well, for a bit.
Yeah. Well, once that's taken care of, then yeah, you can just
Yeah.
I
do
was gonna
whatever
say,
you want.
yeah, drop
You
whatever
know,
useful
they
knowledge
want
you
to run
have.
away, have a farm, do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
knowledge
fine.
for safety. That's the trade.
But not a farm next to your father. So.
It's far enough. I think he is just happy to also forget everything right now.
Yeah, it's true. God, these gods. All right.
You've had enough.
I
Except for this
Yeah.
thing.
Tired.
Some bullshit. That's what that is.
I mean, she's a dryad, right? She or nymph. She'd probably be pretty. She'd probably make a farm work, without too much stress.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, what is our schedule going forward now?
It is for now, still going to be in 2 weeks on the 19th. On the 12th, I sort of have a half-baked date for the movies with my dad.
Aw.
Yeah, I
Which is-
cannot do the 12th. So.
Yeah, the 12th I don't see. Tentatively, well, more than tentatively, probably most likely the 19th. And then we'll see going forward. I did sort of suggest that maybe we can do weekly. I don't want to commit to that quite yet, but it's plausible.
There is I don't know if you'd be bothered with something like that, but Gilded, it's sort of like Discord. It has like a calendar feature in it where you can basically just put your availability. So if
I mean, for me, it's not a question of availability. It's a question of can I prepare enough every week.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
No, I mean for like it's like Saturdays that you're not sure. You could literally just put, or you can say you're not available or whatever.
I mean, we are like
Technically,
4
yeah.
people
There's 4
who
people
have a
now,
chat
yeah, it's
room.
easier.
Like I can be
Yeah,
like, hey,
it'll be
we're
fine.
playing. Don't really need a calendar for that. Unless someone really would appreciate that because looking far into the future is important. I wouldn't want to bother with it.
Speaking for myself, at least, I'll just say I'm open to doing weekly. If you can do it, Sheep, you let us know.
Yeah, it might be more plausible going forward because after many sessions of basically chucking the campaign book to the side and just doing whatever the hell I feel like,
We're on
we're
the
getting
rails
back on
again.
track. Not
Well, was this originally supposed to be just like Battle of Mitros time skip? There's a quest for more items.
No, but I can't really talk about it.
Yeah, fair.
The thing is,
Will die in the fight with Kentamane.
I have talked about it before. Like the campaign originally ended with the Battle for Mitros, but got the like whole level 20 content as a Kickstarter thing. And the separation between the two contents is definitely visible. Like it basically says, "Oh, here's the next part," although it works better if there was a time skip, and then it just launches into the new content, which is yeah, like it works
Wonderland.
better with a time skip. I agree, game, but you're not gonna help me here, okay? And the post Mitros Battle of Mitros content is far less linear. It's basically here's locations, here's how they're connected, here's the players, although not even that many. And basically, it's far less detailed and far less linear and far less thought through than the rest of the campaign. So
Yeah.
I've changed a lot. I'm honestly looking forward to us completing the campaign and me getting to talk about all the things I've changed because
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, I was
It's
gonna
a
say
lot.
that's gonna be a couple of sessions. I feel like the teapot. I want that shit.
So let's go through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tell me.
Although I will
Reach
say,
the-
it really didn't feel like it felt like the three labors, were on somewhat of a rail. Although, we still had the option to do it in any order we wanted. And then with the island hopping, if there were rails there, they were very well hidden. That certainly felt like we had freedom to go wherever we wanted. It seems like in general they seem to go like, here's what's up, here's the goal, you figure it out.
I feel like there was that separation of the islands for having the Antikythera and like being able to
Yeah,
go
it was like
into
that
the
one stage,
further.
like you gotta.
It was
you
like you
gotta
can do
find that before you-
these 10 and then you can do these 10 and then
Yeah.
and then it starts going crazy.
Yeah, but it wasn't like you had to do all 10. It was just you had to. These are the 10 you've got until you find the thing, which I
Yeah.
think we got on like our second island.
I think
Something
yeah,
like
I
that.
think we probably got really lucky.
We unlocked it pretty quickly.
We went pretty hard for it.
We did, yeah.
We found out it was with the side on it.
Yeah, with fuckface. What was his name?
But yeah,
Gaius.
so yeah, it's good. We're gonna beat up the last bit of the campaign here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for sheep's sake, we should probably figure out